Yes, people, big up to you all. I hope you're all doing well. I'm not sure why the share screen isn't working, but more importantly, overall, I do hope you're all doing well. And thank you for finding the time to join the show this morning. We'll have transfers to talk about. We'll still talk about Moises Caicedo, of course. And if we see anything emergent with regards to our pursuit of Mohamed Kudus, we'll talk about it then. More importantly, we're here to review the match, the thrilling match between Chelsea and Brighton, our Premier League rival, I must say. But without wasting much of your time, let's get into it. I don't think if there's even the need to play the intro this morning, but let me just give it a shot. Hopefully it doesn't disappoint. After some setup here, everything is just messing up. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. As for me, that's all I do. So sit back, relax, let's get into the topics immediately. IBZ, big up to you. But before I come back to you, I want to take my time and say hello to the people in the chat because that's how we operate. And I hope you all can hear me crystal clear. Quite a lot of comments already, 39 in total. But I'll try my best before we start addressing the topic. Remember, it will be in this order. First, we'll address the items we have lined up that aren't about the game in question. Then after that, we're going to review in the game. The first one, a big up Kachila and everyone in the chat. With John on the panel, and again in the call and in the comment. Okay, I appreciate you, DJ. I hope you're doing well. I know you're still on vacation. I hope you're enjoying that. And it says, remember to smash the like button, people. Already we're at 22 likes, but we can do better than that. Let's get it to 300 likes today. We've been averaging 150 likes per day, but I know quite well we can do better than that. But thank you. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 22 likes, that's not easy. And a 3x though. Good morning, coach. Good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. And Peter Pan, salute to you too. I hope you're doing well. Great win for Chelsea. Obviously disappointed. We conceded 3 goals. However, the performances of Nkunku, Colwell, Santos, Gusto, Jackson, Mudryk, and Angela again, very effective. Mudryk goal OMG class. And yeah, it meant the goal meant the whole world to him, and you can see why. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Good day, Supreme Court. Nice to see you. Very good win. Bring Caicedo in as soon as possible. We cannot fool around with that anymore. And I'm not into us giving them what they want. We will pay what our valuation of the player. If it doesn't work out, we're the only ones interested. Maybe when we walk away, other people will come in. That is if they're willing to pay more than what we're offering. Jackson, another assist. That's three now in 2 games, and deservedly got his goal. And also man of the match. What a signing this kid is going to be. You have the attitude, you can say, everything. He's well equipped. Plus, more importantly, I like it that he's not selfish. That's one of the things I like in my strikers. Did we sell or loaned out Billy Gilmore? If we sold him, was there a buyback clause? I didn't think no buyback clause. I think, and he wanted to leave. Again, before we sold him, Thomas Tuchel was starting to trust him, played him in a couple of high-profile games, but he wanted to be starting games week in, week out, and it's happening for him. So good luck to him, and he's a good player. I didn't like it that he left, but I had to come to terms that, yeah, he wanted to leave. Santiago Muno, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. Let's see. Big up Chelsea till I die. I appreciate you joining. Nicholas Jackson and Mario Gusto and Melo Gusto are my man of the match. Gusto is so good in 1v1 defending. It's unbelievable. Jackson, unselfish link-up play, fair play to the board there, and the scouts, they did a good job there. We didn't have to spend $1 billion before buying a good striker like Nicholas Jackson, but we still need signings. I think they know that quite well. I think we're not there yet. We still need to make a few signings here and there. Gusto, apart from the first goal, was solid. And here's the thing: during preseason, so during games, when you change around the defensive personnel, usually you see shaky moments like we saw yesterday. Yeah, it was a good performance overall. Let's see what else we have here. Mauricio Pochettino, he is magic, you know. Appreciate you signing that, Jerry. Always nice to see you. Mudryk will cook this season. Never in doubt, really. I knew him before he joined Chelsea. Maybe that's why I never, you can say, joined the ranks of people question why we paid that much money for him. And you can see he's actually quicker than a lot of people know he is. It is time to announce Caicedo. I think it will happen soon. I'm not concerned, really. We cannot wait anymore. A DM is clearly necessary in the team. Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. I think I'll scroll to the very bottom. If I haven't said hello to you, I will read your comment. When we get into the match review proper, then you can drop your opinions, and I'll try to get them, get as many of them as I can. David Luiz was our last defender with such a long range passing attribute. We need to groom Colwell. Okay, I think let's see. He's here with us. He's not going anywhere. Not worried about Colwell. I don't think he makes this mistake again. He's still young. We'll still see that happen sometime. Hopefully not too many of them, so that the fans will not turn against him. But he's an excellent player. I thought he was excellent apart from that one error. Well, he's still very young. I wasn't shocked that happened. Arsenal already noticing the lack of pace in Havertz. Well, that's the business. He's their player now. Let them deal with whatever they're finding out he is. Big up to you too, Francis Winters. I hope you're doing well. Smash the like button, people. 28 likes. Let's get the likes up. Chelsea is back. About time. You could say that. And let me see what we have here. And this one says, yep, we're back. Chelsea on revenge mission this season. I hope that's the case. Arsenal, please give us 100 million for Sterling and take him. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that now. Let's get to the game. His passing ability from 60 yards reminds me of Frank Lebor. I can see players like Mudryk and Nani, Angelo Jackson, and Nkunku loving these to run onto and scoring. Yeah, good passes. Strikers, or you can say forward players, cherish that a lot. We should swap Sterling for Caicedo. It will never happen. Do you think they want him? No. Do you think Sterling will go there and agree to take a pay cut? I don't see that happening. So just rest your mind. That's not going to happen. Greetings from Finland. Much love to everyone. J Fitness, greetings to you too. I hope you're doing well. Arsenal looking for a winger. Maybe Sterling is the answer for them. I don't think they're gonna pay that again. Pay us how much we asked them for. Starling, they're gonna be. I don't think they'll be able to pay his wages right now. It's not like he's the best player in the world. He's been, you could say, declining. That's how I see it. Maybe that changes under Pochettino, but it remains to be seen. I hope it comes good because we're stuck with him. Yes, I think Arsenal needs a Starling. Yeah, go ahead. Go talk to them. Agbala, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining the show. Jackson looks a real player. He's an excellent player from what I've seen so far. Big up to you too, Keyshawn. I appreciate you joining the show, my bro. Much love to you. But thank you more importantly, my New York bro. Yep, my American bro. Mason, Chelsea got 38 players still in the squad. Poch only wants 25 max. So still at least 13 players to go. I don't think they'll all go. If they don't go, I think we'll send them to go train with the academy. I don't think we'll be able to sell 13 more players this window. To go at least loans and sales should generate at least 100 million and a possible more if Gallagher is sold. I still think Gallagher stays, but that's just my opinion. And the Chelsea Ultra, always nice to see you, brother. He says, good morning, all. You beautiful blues. Good morning to you too. We really need to move out a Starling and Kepa. They are so bad. Even Gallagher offered more than a Starling. Okay, let's see. I wish we could get rid of Kepa and sign a top goalkeeper. I think we'll sign a goalkeeper this window. Who? I don't know. But the truth remains, if we sign a goalkeeper, most likely we'll be signing a goalkeeper with this in mind. We'll be signing a goalkeeper that will be starting over Kepa Arrizabalaga, but that is just my opinion at the moment. I'm not too sure that's going to happen. If it happens, I think I'll take it. Morning, coach. People in the chat. Morning to you too, Neri Hushford. I appreciate you joining. Forgot about the Caps issue. No worries. I read it too, but because I know you'd remember, Cucurella's assist to Jackson was insane. It was delicious. Yeah, it was delicious, and I loved it. And Jackson did put it away nicely. If Santos and Caicedo and Carney stay, we can sell Gallagher and bring in Caicedo. But let's see what the club does. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with 32 likes. Of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, just remember, we appreciate you. You watching alone does provide great value to the community, but we urge you, if you can, only if you can, please take a second to drop a like on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way for us. We'd really appreciate it. And also share the link to the stream on whatever social media platform where you have presence. We'd really appreciate that. So thank you, Agile Edikachi. Nice to see you. Tired, Mitchell boy. Always nice to see you. Yep, it's only natural that you're tired. Probably a lot of work. Big up to you too, brother. And if you haven't, please go check out Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. Let him know I sent you. He will share the link soon when he gets a chance, and I'll just highlight it. Even if I don't speak about it, you will see a text telling you that that's a Mitchell Boy's link to Mitchell Boy's YouTube channel. Chelsea Ultra was stopped playing at 4-1, which is a shame because we were smashing them. I would have loved to bang in a 5 or 6 goals. Here's the thing. I think the changes in the defensive, the changes didn't help. It cost a bit of, you could say, it cost the team to be a bit disjointed. But that happens during preseason. I'm not too concerned. But if I'm being honest, I think we need, you can say, 2 sixes that will be able that will not just be effective offensively, but will be effective in protecting the defensive line. That will go a long way. Coach Usman Isaac says, I own you you own me a plate of unkwabi. I think that's what you want to spell there. With a cold beer when you visit Nigeria anytime to celebrate a Jackson and Poch signing. That could happen soon, but you never know. But if it happens, I'll let you know, brother Usman Isaac. I have just heard that show is an advanced talks with Lazio. Yep, we have that lined up, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Need to check how truthful that is. We'll find out. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And Jerry Z says, as a student of the game, I am pleased with the progress Chelsea has made adapting to a new team in playing style, in challenging. Though you can say conceding 3 goals wasn't ideal. There are reasons behind it. Yep, if you paid attention, the changes didn't help. And this is preseason. We see that every preseason, honestly, except towards the last 2 games or so, or 3 maybe. Have we seen anything from Mudryk yet? Not yet. That is just a tip of the iceberg, in my opinion. The team needs a more physicality and ability to maintain position when they lose the ball. Further training and integration will undoubtedly, I can't say that will you can say most certainly enhance our performance. I think I agree with you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 40 likes. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200. I hope we get a keeper coach, Kepa, a positioning when receiving and distributing the ball is so poor. Here's the thing: do I think it's that bad? I would say no, but do I think we can do better? In my opinion, yes. When Mudryk finds finds a regular for okay, he's electric. He's the fastest player. Yeah, there's no. We don't need Einstein to tell us that. Honestly, any transfer news of sales of Callum Hudson to Ziyech or Lukaku. We get to the items we'll have lined up soon, Mason. But I appreciate you joining. More importantly, I told people on this chat the other day that Poch is gonna love Gallagher, and I've been proven right. Well, we've been saying that too. If you know Poch, you know he will love him. Poch loves his infinite energy all over the field. Every manager will love him, and as long as we don't have alternatives, I think he's an important player. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with 41 likes. I just love the way Jackson plays but what about Lukaku? Yeah, Lukaku is gone. He's not going to be part of this team. So if you like him that much, just move on. He's not going to be a Chelsea player anytime, any day. In this world again, maybe in another world, so to speak. Coach a player like Jackson is what we lack. The way he holds up play, link up with his teammates and all that. So unselfish. More importantly, that moved me. I love that, which means we'll be scoring quite a lot of goals. Because you're in trouble when your striker is selfish. It will be about the striker. He may end up scoring 30 goals, but the team overall will suffer. But in this case, we've seen a player who's willing, you could say, not to score 10, but let the team overall score more goals. I think that will go a long way for us. Sorry to change the talk, Coachella, but let's take this opportunity to laugh at Arsenal's loss to Manchester United. The funny thing about these are hearing the Arsenal fans are fighting with each other, but it's just preseason. I get your point, but yeah, banter must continue. Let Chelsea fans have the most fun, given the fact that they lost the game. So yeah, I'm here for it. Banter must continue, like I said. Yeah, I agree. Made the change made a difference, but we also got complete sense. You could argue that. I was watching Poch and his body language. He was not happy about it, and I like that in a manager. Yep, which means again, he's paying it. He's following what's happening. He's seeing that. He's reacting to it, even though he hasn't spoken. You can see that. Yeah, he sensed it, and will do something about it. Which left back does people do people want us to keep on? We have one too many, like Matson to stay. Personally, I think the 3 of them will stay. I think Matson will be played further forward. He will be utilized as an offensive player. That is just my opinion. But let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see what else we have here. Markin Neum Nkunku has been doing well as a lone striker. He scores ugly goals. That's what you want from your striker. It doesn't have to be beautiful. But here's the thing. Nkunku's goal yesterday, there was nothing ugly about that goal. Honestly, that is just me. Nothing ugly about that goal. It was a flick. It was, again, his intelligence, again, his footballing intelligence. He could have gone for power and then hit it against the goalkeeper and he comes in. But he flicked it with his side foot and he beat the goalkeeper hands down. The goalkeeper was rooted and couldn't do anything about it. So I wouldn't say that wasn't an ugly goal, but I understand your point, honestly. I wouldn't call that an ugly goal, in my opinion. This says, okay, just saying hello to each other. Coach, is it just me, or was Sterling underperforming in both games? He seemed confused, slow to pass, and made poor decisions in the box. I'm gonna leave it to Roger to talk about Sterling. Um, I don't know. I thought he used to be a good dribbler. What happened? How he lost that? I just do not know. He was poor, really. His feet, but again, again, the way he applied himself, it was shameful. He should be leading the team by example. So yeah, I was shocked at its performance, really. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Deji, I appreciate you joining once more, my brother. Big up Kachila. I think one of Santos Casadei, Casadei or Chukwuemeka will have to go out on loan. Which two you prefer to say at this point? Wow. Um, uh, okay, let me just give you my opinion, so we'll move on. I want us to start addressing the items we'll have lined up here. I'd say I'd have to send Casadei out on loan again. Um, that is just my opinion. I know a lot of people, a lot of you think otherwise. Poch trying to turn Matson into Garabale while we have Chilwell who kept giving Kepa a hospital passes all game. It's a problem at left back. Again, I think everybody will calm down a bit. Maybe they're all, you could say, sometimes are trying to do too much to impress the manager. Ultra thinks Kepa is really awful. He also got beaten from his byline last night. He never collected one single cross. He never cut down any shooting angles. He didn't even try for two of the goals. Yes, then first of all, let's start again looking at how we defended before we get to Kepa. That's just my opinion. How did you think Kukurea did? I am starting to prefer him on the left. His passing is better than Chilwell. Here's the thing: I've always known that he's a good passer of the ball. He's able to find passing lanes where you, the viewer, don't even know one exists. He's that good, but unfortunately, people don't know him that well. I think he did well, but that's just my opinion. You'd still see people say they are the one they'd like to leave. They'd rather the club keep Ben Chilwell and Ian Matson, but I think three of them will stay. Ian Matson, it seems as if Pochettino prefers playing him in a more advanced role, especially when seeing the way Mudryk scored. Arsenal fans are crying on what they miss. I can be nice enough to send them. You can say a trailer of tissue. Kepa is not even a championship level. Continuing from the message. Okay, I'm gonna skip. If I've read your comment, I'm gonna skip all your subsequent comments to get to the bottom until we start addressing the items we have lined up here. Let's see what else we have. From for now, only Sterling remain in last season mentality. You could argue that. Poch trying to turn a Matson into Garabale while Chilwell. I think I've read that. Yep. Let's see what else we have here. I will prefer Casadei for sure. Plus Chuku. I think Santos need European experience. I think he's good. Just a couple of games, play him with our best players. You see the best of him. Sterling doesn't care. Poch needs to move on from him. Unfortunately, we're stuck with him. We can't sell him, and I don't see any club coming for him and willing to pay that much money for a player like him. That is just my opinion. But let's see what else we have here. We have this one saying, let's talk football. Says, I think the way we are playing now, if we sign a Caicedo, from my own perspective, I think we're going to make top four. Wow, I hope that happens. Again, I hope to see that happen. We don't need these Caicedo or Ninja Toto. Wow. Nice to see you, Kim. So more importantly, I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We don't need that. I've read that. I just went back to say hello to him. Sterling was really terrible, awful. He was ridiculous, really. I think maybe we should sell him. Selling him isn't easy. And the rest assured, I think if it was easy to sell him, by now we'll be hearing that Chelsea are willing to sell him. But It's not easy. He's one of the highest paid players at the club. Plus, if we want to sell him, he'd be looking for a pay rise or something close to what he's earning, and not too many clubs are able to do that. And that Nick Jackson layoff for Misha, it was delicious. I think you and I privately we talked about how good of a player we've signed in Nicholas Jackson, and I'm sure a lot of people who were questioning why we signed him, I arguing that we need an established a striker. I never argued that, even though if we signed one, I would have welcomed that, but I would have welcomed that. But Nicholas Jackson, he's something special. And I'm going to say this again. I get it. There are other attributes you said. I think, let me just read your comment here. The guy is, again, his attitude is so crucial. I just love his attitude. That's important. And I remember somebody saying during a conversation about Nicholas Jackson here in the chat, saying he has an attitude. They don't like that. I said, that's what I want. Honestly, that's what we want. That's what we've lacked for a while. I want such attitude in a player that plays in that position for us. It makes a whole difference. I call it, you call it attitude. I call it the real Chelsea spirit, honestly. But more importantly, Carlito is the co-owner of Worldwide Chelsea and a friend of mine, a brother I respect so much. If you haven't, go check out Worldwide Chelsea. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Let's see what else we have here. Code Web, did I miss it? I think I read that too. I saw Kukurea playing some DM with Enzo while giving Jackson a through pass. Yep, that's a good observation. Kukurea was in the central area of the pitch before orchestrating that delicious pass, and I loved it. And I've always named, again, Ty would tell you this. I like, again, the fact that he's able to find passing lanes where you don't know one exists. He's that good. Colwell giving away penalties for Brighton. Maybe that's just his farewell gift to them. That's how I see it. I think he's an excellent player, so I'm not going to complain too much. I saw Kukurea playing DM with Enzo. I did see that myself. Aubameyang will cook at Marseille. I think he will cook if they play in a way that suits them. And Deji Adedeji, my bro, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Much love to you for the donation. It will go a long way for us. And before the month ends, we'll also do the monthly giveaway for students, the Stay in School project. I think we've done it 3 times now. And we've had 4 lucky winners, and I'm very happy that all of them have reached out, provided an ID that showed that they're students, and they all got their gifts. The first one, prize money. The first one was $100. The second was 50. Third one was 50. So, but thank you. This will go a long way for the channel. I appreciate you doing that, brother. Jackson connects with any player around him, which makes sense. Again, Chelsea dangerous up front. We'll go a long way. This would do a lot better than a lot of people think would do this particular transfer window. As underdogs, more especially. Let's see what else we have here. Attitude. I want that attitude. Exactly. That was what I said. Jackson, very good player, an excellent player overall. Jackson is a Batman. We need that too. Many weak players. Yep, too many weak players. And if you see how he's having how he was having conversations with teammates, you could know he was talking about the game. Something you could say to the effect of where he wants the ball and how quickly they should pass and all that. There's that rapport between them that makes you happy if you see that. Me says, Coach, are you also a programmer like me? It seems you've got multiple screens. I have to be honest. Yeah, I'm not just a content creator. I'm a programmer too. Yeah, I'm a coder. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, but thank you for asking. No wonder why you go by that name, Code Web. Let's see. Let's not get carried away. The team was so much better than the disaster from last season, but they are so disjointed. Brighton played like they didn't go a man down and still scored 2 goals. Here's the thing. We've suffered too much. I'll take any positivity I see from my team with regards to the performance of the team, and more importantly, something you can say that's made me happy is the commitment you see from the players. Last season's preseason, we didn't see commitment, except for the new signings, Koulibaly. We had Koulibaly, and the signings then they were impressive also. But this season, you see commitment from every player, from player A to player Z, all committed on the pitch. But it was the contrast. Yeah, last season was concerning. If you get my point. Let's see what else we have here. We have this. Please, guys, let's give a Stalin a break. Soccer is not an easy game. Nathaniel Opusi, I appreciate you joining today, brother. Much love to you. It's been a minute. I hope you're well. The game is trying to make the guy. Is it the game? Okay, he says. Let me see. Soccer is not an easy game. The man is trying to make things happen. The boy will blend well at the end of the season. Okay, okay. Let's see what happens. But I hope he comes good. He did well for us towards the end of last season. He picked up form. Maybe that's the better language to use there. I hope he shows that sort of form again. I really want to see that. Kukurea can be a CDM. Maybe that's why we're trying him there. Brighton were the better side until the red card. Chelsea positives were Jackson, Colwell, Augusto, Casadei, and plus you said the changes didn't help. That's how I see it. Big up to you too, Prince Moaz. I hope you're doing well. That kid, Angelo, Premier League and ready. I think he stays. I think he's good. Chilwell was the weak link on the left-hand side. Colwell and Matson all had a difficult game. And Dominic Maximilian and Nature, I love New Spirit. Big up, coach. Yep, the commitment. That's not what I call it. I love the commitment that I saw from the players, and that was really, really good to see. Matson went missing in the game. Yeah, it's preseason. Players, you can say they blow hard, they blow warm, but I think probably tired right now from, you can say, the gruesome double session trainings, and you can say the drilling of Mauricio Pochettino. I am excited with these crop of players. I am optimistic that we will do well this season. How well, if you ask me, I don't know, but I just believe we will do well. Priestley Chidi, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. That penalty he gave away was clearly the marker for tired player. Yep, you can argue that too. He should have been subbed off after 60 minutes, but during preseason, your first players to go that extra mile to gain a good fitness, 60 or 70 minutes. I don't really blame him for that until you can say they get fit. Yep, and I would say for me, maybe that's a parting gift he had in store for Brighton. Our beloved club is coming back. Chika DBISM, nice to see you. One day, I appreciate you finding the time to join. We smoked Arsenal twice, and thank you for that. I have to say thank you. I am also a programmer, Dominic Maximilian, and that's it. Wow, lots of us here. Nice to see. Mason Man was a baller. Okay, good job. Enjoy him. You paid us. Have you seen a close-up of Jackson's face? Tell me, doesn't look like Vinicius Jr.? Some difference. His nose is different in so many ways, but I get your opinion. Big up Rashi, nice to see you. Jakai says Brighton's Dahu Chow, Pedro, and Mitoma were really good. That name I couldn't say it. Sorry about that. 58 likes, people. Let's get the likes up to 100. For 200. And remember, we have a membership. If you want to become a member, it costs just $2.99. It helps us support students every month. Plus, the community profits from it. I have to be honest. But we spent more in supporting. We spent $200 in total in the student project, and we haven't the membership haven't earned that much for us. But thank you. Let's see how we have here, Coach. You are a full stack, and you are into web development or data, no, full stack. A front end, a back end, and all of that, and software development too. And actually have developed 2 WordPress plugins, but we'll talk about that later. But thank you for asking that question. Smash the like button, people. Subscribe, and support the channel. Satisfactory performance, but a lot of work to be done. It's preseason. Those things happen. But thank you, Bobby. You're on the panel too, so you're in 2 places at the same time. Big up, Kachila. How are you? Since when did you join VAR? Duties. That's what we're doing. We're actually still working on one more camera, different angles. But that will mean to accommodate the third camera. It will mean moving into another room. But the wife has to agree first. More importantly, keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's see. Jackson reminds me of Costa. Yep, his attitude. But he looks like he's more technically gifted than Costa. But we get to talking about the players. Apparently, Poch at the start said, give us Caicedo. Really? Probably jokingly, but let's see what happens. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And Harmax, is that Harmax? Yeah, Harmax YT, I appreciate you joining. If you are a member of this community, if you own a YouTube channel, do let us know, especially if it's a football YouTube channel. We can direct people to your channel so that we can grow together. The bigger we grow, the good for our club. I can see the young Droba in Jackson. Yeah, let's see. Operation Keep Angelo next season. Let's see who stays and who goes. But good luck. Free Angelo. Yeah, I like him. He brings something different. Let's see what we have here. I'm really pleased that Gusto passed a midterm test. Now I really know what he's capable of doing. He's actually defensively sound. I didn't know that, but I love it. Kukurea easily getting dribbled past, he's not there. Man was letting everyone walk through. I think these players, again, the players were tired, given double sessions and Mauricio Pochettino's approach, drilling them into fitness. I think they will all be fine. You can let's see, maybe they're mentally tired at this point. Coach, you have a game set up. I do play games, but I haven't played a game for a while, and I don't want to say why at this moment. Yes, see, they did a good job, but we need to work on our defense. Chelsea for life. Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you. Adebayo or Matayo, Moral Freeman. I like that. That what you have in parentheses there. We need the experience of players. Let's see. Kuku is terrible. Salim only Chile. Martin. Wow. I think 3 of them stays. Kachila, it's amazing that we have so many programmers here. I specialize in data analysis using R and SQL and Tableau. Is that how you pronounce that? Actually, for visualization. Still eagerly awaiting for my job. I just a perspective. Whenever you're ready to start, I'm ready to guide you through until you master it. Believe me, bro. I mean that when I say that. Chelsea and Mudryk would have who Jackson and Mudryk would not have scored just because if it wasn't for Kukurea. You have to say that again. Give him credit, Coachella, with the ultimate Batman setup. You are only missing the Coach Mobile, which is probably packed outside at the Nissan Altima dealership. Okay, I agree. For some reason, I always feel Cuckoo is not good enough. I think he's good enough, honestly, but you're entitled to your opinion, brother. I hope he starts proving you wrong. Chelsea spent 62 million on him, and I wonder who made that decision. We were desperate at the time, and he started well under Thomas Tuchel, actually. 25 or up should be at least. Let's see. 68 likes. You people are absolute legends. Let's get it done quickly. Seriously, I want to go to church today. So the sooner we get it to 100 likes, the better. But let's shoot for 300 likes. Chilwell is a liability when building from the back. No wonder Cowell always instructed him to push up field and sprint in a straight line while he pings the ball long towards him. Cowell has a good passing range in him. Caicedo must not be loaned. He's a gem. We are not talking much about him. I think it's good, but let's see what the club does. Let's talk football. I appreciate you. It's good. We have a ball playing CB, and once again, Nkunku scores. What cannot he do? Jackson will definitely fill Mount's shoes. I think we need another person for Mount. Maybe that's why we're looking at signing Mohamed Kudus. And what a player he is. I hope we get him. I'd be happy if we get Mohamed Kudus. But that's, by the way, we're gonna talk about the transfer items we have lined up, and then we go into reviewing the match. I appreciate my bro Bobby finding the time to join me on the panel here. Bobby, we don't have too many stuff to talk, so let's just knock it out. The first one says Lazio are now in advanced talks to sign Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea. That is some good news. Here's why I say it's good news. He's played on the Mauricio Sarri. Is that, again, the two Mauritius? That one is Mauricio or Mauricio. I don't know if you pronounce their first names the same. But Mauricio Sarri likes him. He knows him. He's a player he loves so much. And probably he had, again, his best Chelsea stint under Mauricio Sarri. So maybe he's looked at him and felt like that player is still there. Nothing has changed. Maybe Alonso this former Spanish international and former Liverpool player, didn't trust him that much because he's still just 23. And I think probably his salary might have been the reason why, maybe the reason why the club Chelsea are looking to move him on. But that's just my opinion. Bobby, your thoughts? I think it would be a good move for him. If you're there, Bobby, you have the floor. Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, hi, Coach. I'm not going to start with Callum. I don't think it's worth starting with when there's, for me, when there's other things. I will mention him because I think we should try and see if we can insert some kind of salon buyback, some extra clause to benefit more from his sale. But anyway, I want to talk about the game this
Yeah,
morning,
we have
last
just three
night.
items before the game, but if you want to talk about the game, go ahead.
Just this morning, last night. However, look, it's very clear that we have a lot of work to do on our defensive patterns of play, offensive patterns of play, because at the moment we are relying on individuals and their brilliance, especially offensively, which is good. At least we're scoring, and at least we have these players. At least the attitude is right, and there is a measure of pattern of play developing. But it was very clear to me that um, Brighton were more mature, and not surprisingly so. They were more mature in that aspect because they seemed to have better helping of the game, better control of the game up until the red card. So, but we did very well. We kept in the game, we scored, and it'll come. In terms of the players, Cucurella is extremely frustrating. He seems to be perhaps more effective in a defensive midfield role because when he left the left back and Lewis Hall came in, the left back was more under control and assured, and his cavaliering as a CDM sometimes is costly, but at least there are people around to mop up because boy, does he make errors. But at the same time, he was doing something that the rest of the team were not doing, and that's his through balls. Through ball for the goal by Jackson, and I think he was involved with a through ball either for the goal by Gallagher or the goal that led to the pass from Chukwemeka, not the pass, or rather the shot from Chukwemeka, which was sort of steered in by Nkunku. Look, there's a lot to look forward to with this team. But I think, and this is just me thinking, I think I already know those going for loans and the young players that are going to stay. And I really believe that Santos, Casadei, and Angelo Gabriel will stay. Sadly, we may. Oh, and also another player that I think will stay simply because of our defensive injuries will be Bashir Humphreys. He's flying under the radar and nobody's really talking about him, but he's looking very solid, very composed, very good at the back. He actually looked more solid than Levi Colwell. And that's no indictment to Levi Colwell because he has been training with the team longer than Colwell. Colwell will come good. Little error for the uh, penalty. I think the pitch was a bit too dry. I don't know what that was about, and but that doesn't sort of excuse that mistiming. Look, there were a lot of positives, a lot of question marks. I think in this game, dare I say it, Thiago Silva actually in patches started to show his age. He slowed the game down at times when it was unnecessary to do so. He he wasn't really it wasn't his better game. Let's put it that way. It can be down to preseason. He didn't make any mistakes, but you can. I felt I was slowly beginning to see his age. Um, Kepa, Sterling. Look, I don't. These guys aren't going to improve. We definitely need another goalkeeper for sure. Kepa, he didn't do anything wrong, but he doesn't inspire confidence. The ball comes for a cross and he's flapping. He doesn't even look right in the goal. And Sterling, too many misplaced passes, too many losing the ball, and too many missed chances. He's 28 years old. He should be leading. And I'm disappointed in them. But the others are okay. Gallagher, I think, will still develop. Um, he's definitely not the most technically gifted player. But when Pochettino started shouting at him, look, you're the man in midfield, make things happen, run, create space, look for the ball. He looked far improved when he started doing that later on, a little bit later on in the game. And of course, his strength is the final third. He got his goal, and that will be his strength for us, that final third. But if you're expecting him to dribble past people, control the ball excellently, that's just not his game. And I'm not sure it will ever be his game. Angelo, of course, in bits, he's showing pure quality, creativity. He is probably a lot of that creativity we missed, as along with Carney. But these two kids, they need time, and hopefully they will get the time. Um, I know Pochettino said, and I like him always talking about winning. Said it's about winning at Chelsea. Yes, you can give some youngsters time, but he's not going to be very focused when the season starts on just youngsters. So that kind of tells me that especially Carney Chukwuemeka, he needs to maybe up his game a bit. He did nothing wrong. He's very good with the ball at the feet. He's physical, but his passing awareness can improve. And talking about passing, some of those beautiful long passes by Colwell was absolutely mercurial. He sets up so much offensive play from his passing. Chilwell, I don't know. I've still, there's a slight defect in his game. He's very good going forward and scoring. Defensively, he kind of tends to go missing and tends to I don't know. I think he could be stronger. Hopefully he stays fit. He's looking fit. He's got to stay fit. And if he gives us a season, I will say hallelujah. Finally, we've actually seen Chilwell in how many years? Santos, okay, good performance. Another player that needs time. He's young. I'm sort of trying to whiz through Nkunku. He was told to play centre forward. I think he's still kind of, pacing himself, getting some fitness back. Took his goal well. In the past, we wouldn't have even scored those sort of goals. And his number 10 role, we haven't seen him in that yet. I wouldn't be surprised if Pochettino isn't rightfully waiting for the season to start to play him with Jackson and to see if we can get a new striker. Now, I hear we've got a youngster there who is a striker. I don't know why he doesn't come on, but Pochettino knows best. And so we wait and see whether he'll play him or not. But he did say he's going to play all the players. Look, we can't complain too much. We've done well. We've shown an improvement from last season. But definitely there is work to be done. Pochettino said that himself. There are some very, very gifted players. Jackson has really impressed me. He's such a technical player. He's such a player that can play off the shoulder. We have to give him those balls, through balls, and he'll perform well. I won't forgive any player on that field, especially from the midfield, that fails to at least once in a game play something through to Jackson, because he's shown what he can do. Nkunku, lethal in front. I know he's going to build up his fitness. They all are. We need to be positive. This was a big test. Brighton was a big test. We needed to see what we could do against a team that really knew what they were doing. Um, well, we won. Did we pass with flying colours? We were satisfactory. Newcastle will be another test, and we need these tests here on in to build up to the season. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we need to get Caicedo done. Kudus done. We need to get these guys in to be playing with the team, because you can see what they're all strangers and they're all learning each other, and bringing in somebody else to still continue that learning curve will keep us probably not being able to fire on full cylinders till well into the season. You know, I've said I don't really see this team. The team will be okay, but I don't see them really playing to their full potential till about November, maybe even December.
All right. All right. Thank you, Gordon Frogs. Nice to see you. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. I want us to knock out the transfer items we have lined up. I appreciate you for that, taking your time to present that to us, Bobby. Then we come back to talking about the match again. It's nothing too much to talk here. This one talks about Callum Hudson-Odoi moving to Lazio, and I think it's a good move for him. I hope we get something sizable from that. Maybe that will help us, you can say, beef up our account and have enough to sign players we want to sign. So we'll move on from that one quickly. Enzo's comment after the game. I'm very happy to wear this shirt again. It's nice to hear that. We keep going in the best way. Come on, Chelsea. That's just nothing too much. On Behad Iqbali was in attendance at Lincoln Financial Field, and as for co-sporting director Paul Winstanley, there were no indications of further talks with the Brighton hierarchy to breach the 30 million gap between our valuation of Moises Caicedo and Brighton's valuation of Moises Caicedo. This says valuation, of Caicedo, and while in the coming days will present more opportunities with the key negotiations in close proximity, which means face-to-face, and that's why that translates to me. This period also generates a time pressure to make a tangible progress on the key pieces, on a key piece of business. I think we get that deal over the line. We'll move on from that one. Let's see what else we have lined up here. And talks are continuing between Chelsea and Brighton for Moises Caicedo, and Chelsea is expected to make a new offer soon. Brighton still values him at 100 million. The removal of Levi Colwell from the Caicedo equation will force Chelsea to significantly raise their offer if they are to convince Brighton to sell Levi Colwell. But we keep on following that. Let's see what else we have lined up. We have there before we move on. Any other transfer item? Nothing there. Let me see. I think Eddie sent me something, so we'll just knock it out and move on. There you go. Here, I think. Okay. This one here says Al Hilal have submitted a new proposal to Romelu Lukaku, offering him 50 million euros per season. They are also willing to pay Chelsea 50 million euros a transfer fee. I think that's where we would want to sell him to Al Hilal rather than Juventus. And Juventus fans, again, they were protesting. They didn't want him to join their club. This bro here, we'll bring it back to the match. And we're here to preview in a few minutes. We still need Lavia and Caicedo. Chalobah did well at right back. He's versatile, and that's one of the reasons why we should keep him. I don't think we even need Lavia. We may end up not signing him. Let's see. Caicedo would be nice, but there's way cheaper options out there. Maybe the manager, his preferred option is Caicedo. We do not know. Thibaut Salifa, anyone who doesn't admit that Carney massively helped build up in the first half when Connor wasn't helping Santos in the pivot, isn't criticizing Carney in good faith. Okay. Nobody has criticized Carney here. If maybe I missed it. Bobby, for Christ's sake, mate, we need to acknowledge our progress in just 20 days. The team has made incredible strides. And if you paid attention to Bobby, he did mention, it's preseason. There are lots of positives and lots of, you can say, apparent issues. But we take it. I'm not sure. There's no need to be going back and forth on that one. Caicedo wasn't on the bench. I think it's more more than likely he's joining us. That's how I interpret that comment there. But God of Frogs, nice to see you. The collective work was good, but we lacked a positional play in transition due to the high setup. However, the integration is developing quickly. I think we're actually making progress faster than I believe we'd make progress. According to other YouTubers as well, we are apparently in for Verratti. I haven't heard that. I haven't seen that from any of the sources that I trust. Verratti, will it be cheap because he just signed a new? He signed Verratti is still he's at PSG, isn't he? And he signed a new contract too. So I'm not too sure where that is coming from. Because today Santos, Caicedo, Gallagher, and Enzo should be good enough for the season. But let's see what the club does. Big up to you too. I hope you're doing well in life. No limit. Verratti, the dwarf Italian. Wow, I don't think it's okay to call him that. Let's see what else we have here. He's a fine footballer overall. That's all that matters to me. Kachula, stop protecting pedestrian punditry. You should share some of those monitors with people who do not watch games. Really, you think? Okay, let's see what else we have here. Anything else to talk about? And Wally Waldo, nice to see you. I just realized I haven't said hello to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining the show. Why do we need both Lavia and Caicedo? What happened to Santos? Lavia is not overly experienced. I do not know. It's not up to me. And do you really think we need them both? There's no way to confirm that's the case. I liked Gallagher in this game. His vision is horrible and he lacks a technicality. Wow. But he was putting his body on the line, making tackles, breaking up play defensively and offensively, available, etc. Yep, managers value him for that, and that's huge. Waiting for Caicedo,
his endeavor is
and a goalkeeper.
priceless.
Sorry,
I'm saying Gallagher's endeavor is priceless. That is one of his strengths for sure. But
yep.
we should never expect him to be that technically gifted player. That's not him. But he's a very useful, functional player in any team, and I think is important to us.
Mm-hmm. I do agree with you. Chelsea win is Havertz. Okay, Namaya, more importantly, nice to see you. Rice was terrible yesterday. If you watched the game, I did not watch the Arsenal game. We are in for Wahi earlier Wahi. Yeah, I've heard that too. Verratti is so small that he would be crushed in the Premier League. But I'm not too sure we're looking at him. So beyond his height, I'm not too concerned. Santos will need to be a polishing alone would be he needs to be polished. You mean alone would be good, but let's see if the club does that. A signing Verratti makes no sense, and I don't believe the rumors actually. What Vic said is very true. We shouldn't be banging 50 million on Lavia. Seems like a waste, but how sure are you that we're looking to sign him? I'm waiting to hear your response. Lavia is Premier League proven compared to Santos, but I don't even think we're looking to sign him. Big up to you too, Namaya. I hope you're doing well. I am concerned that the owners will be very happy with the 2 wins, and well, we'll assume we don't need any more signings. Really, I don't think so. That's just your opinion right there. I am going to hard pass on that 15 million is too much. I don't think we paid that much for Lavia. Please, people, we cannot be going for too many brief players. Verratti is the same height as Lavia. We are already going for Caicedo. It is enough for us. All we need is players with height. I think I agree with you. I think we'll mix it up. We'll sign players to balance the things out. Why are Chelsea fans obsessed with player loans? Angelo is absolutely ready for the first team. That's not for us to decide. It's up to the manager, who's now taking a look who's been seeing him again during training sessions, and also have now seen him twice on the pitch in a match. So let's see what happens. It's not up to us. Can we just give a round of applause to Malo Gusto for putting dangerous Mitoma in his pocket all game? I think we are instead fans in Reece James, even if Reece James isn't playing. And honestly, I didn't know he was that good defensively. I have to be honest. It's impressive to see what Poch has done in such a short time. However, defending set piece seems to be an issue, especially picking up our second balls. I think we'll deal with that. Lavia isn't better than Santos. One is already a full international with Brazil. Speaks volumes. Again, yeah, it does speak volume indeed. But let's see what the club does. I'm not concerned about with regards to who stays and who goes. If any player stays, the manager wants him. If any player leaves, the manager maybe feels the player isn't ready. Where's the Verratti news coming from? Like I said, I don't believe that. Honestly, I'm going to move on from that. Pochman's demand signings with a few more signings, we will be right there to challenge for the Premier League title. Lavia ain't proven. He got relegated first season. So I'm going to move on from that. Let me bring in Roger. Coach Caicedo, Angela Santos. Okay, need to stay. Roger, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm just going to leave the French and the Spanish for you. You go ahead, speak. But more importantly, good afternoon to you, because in the UK it's already afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Your thoughts on the game? We're back to the game right now. Except if you want to say something with regards to the Moises Caicedo news we talked about, up to you. But you go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, gentlemen.
To you, brother.
I'm not sure about the Caicedo, to be honest with you. What's going on? Hope he gets done, but who knows? I actually can see him not coming to Chelsea. I really can see Brighton trying to drag it out. They're posturing that they want 80 to 100 million. I'm not saying that's right, but I can see them doing that. You know, I'm shocked because.
Do you think they'd get it? Because we're still talking. We most likely will go in with you can say an improved offer of around 80 million. And if we work, do you think any other team will come in and pay something north of that?
I'm not saying any other team would. I'm saying that they may be strategizing to the fact that they need him because they're in Europa. They're in Europe next year, and who knows, that they could win it and thus be in the Champions League the next season. And for that to happen, they would need Caicedo, one would think. I mean, look at their new number 9 signing. What was his name? Zhao something? Wow. What an impressive young man. So they could be thinking this, and they could be thinking, unless we get 100 million plus for him, we're keeping him regardless. You know, I'm just saying this could be what's transpiring. So, you know, obviously they're very hard to negotiate with, and I understand why, but the fact that they only spent £4 million on him, I think is obscene. I really do. As I said, if they paid 30, 40, 50 million for him and they want 80 to 100, I understand. But their return on investment is substantial, even at 70 million. So, listen, we've proven that we can overpay. We paid 62 million for Cucurella, which was obscenely large amount. I mean, listen, he could turn out to have an amazing season for us, but from what I've seen thus far, nothing can justify that kind of payment. So I'm a little bit wary. Let's put it that way. I don't want us to be paying north of 80 million. I still think 70 million is obscene. Who knows? As for the match, I like Bobby's observations. I've only seen the extended highlights. I didn't get to watch the match in its entirety. I was concerned with Levi Colwell's tackle in the box, considering he had 2 players to the left of him. I thought he showed his naivety. I know it's just
tiredness.
It could be many factors, but regardless, this can't afford to do that. We just can't. You can't give tackles away like that inside the box. You have to make that kind of tackle knowing 101% you're going to get the ball first. You know, you just can't. That could have cost us the match. You know, let's say if it's a final or a Premier League match, you just can't be doing that. You have to be more disciplined. Listen, he's very young, I understand, and I'm being critical over one play. The man has got a very bright future and an exceptionally high ceiling going forward. I get that, but I was disappointed with that. I really was.
So what do you make of the game overall?
Well, I was improved with Jackson. His link-up play. Yes, the first game is against 3 divisions below us, so I understand. But I think in 2 matches he's got 4 assists and 1 goal, if I'm not mistaken.
I think three assists in total. I think so.
I thought it was 2 and 2, but I could be wrong.
I
I'm
could be wrong
impressed.
too. I'm not too sure, but go ahead.
I was impressed, Coach. He seems, listen, for someone that's a new acquisition, he's fitting in. And I know it's very early. He may very well be a flop going forward, but I'm just saying the indicators from what we've seen thus far seems to be very optimistic indeed. I'm quite impressed with him. His link-up play, we've lacked that for quite some time. Really have. His pass, actually. Listen, Mudryk's goal was beautiful, but so was the layoff to him. How many times have we seen that before, where that layoff is either under hit or way over hit? How many times? So that this was beautiful to see. He's got a beautiful first touch. He's technical. He seems to be hitting the ground running from where he left off in the latter part of last year. Was it Valencia? For Valencia, I think it was. So I'm impressed with him so far. Listen. Yes, I know it was 1-1 when it was 11-on-11, but still, it's good that we're scoring goals. A little bit. Listen, I know it's pre-season, but I'm a little bit concerned that we conceded 3. But as I said, this pre-season, I haven't seen the whole match, so I can't really comment on what Bobby said. But I was pleased with the extended highlights from what I saw. It was quite. Yeah, it was good to see. It really was. I can't wait to watch the match in its entirety today when it's released.
All right, I'll come back to you in a bit. I think you can find it it's available on Peacock. Coach, question: do you think we should be looking at our defense after last night? 60 minutes in Brighton get a red card, yet they still managed to score twice with 1 less player.
Yeah,
You can
that was
argue,
concerning.
it's preseason and changes. When you make that much changes, and players probably right now, they probably, you could say, showing a bit of tiredness given the double sessions and all that, and the Mauricio Pochettino's approach of drilling people to be, you could say, how, for lack of a better term, to be super fit and all that. But once they get used to it, I think they'll be even better. You could say they seem a bit mentally tired. Plus, the changes don't help, especially changes in the defensive area too. That doesn't help that much.
Coach, all those things you've mentioned, absolutely 100% right.
Yeah, correct.
But added to that, Brighton are a better rehearsed team than we are, naturally so, because they've had just that much longer together and with their coach. And they brought on a very exceptional
that's another
player.
great point. Yeah, go ahead.
They brought on a very exceptional player. I really liked him. I thought, wow, he's dangerous, and he's gonna be doing some things next season when he's playing with Brighton, because I think they sent him out on loan, and he's just come back, and he's a good player. Is it what's his name?
Zhao player?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Pedro,
impressed
something
me.
like that. Yeah, he was very instrumental to their second and third goal. So he was exceptional, and the guy on the right that came back from loan for them also. I don't know his name. He was good, and he was very instrumental as well to the goals. So you're right. I wasn't that worried by it. I think, you see, in the past, Chelsea, being a man up, would not have done what we did. We wouldn't. We were not capable of it. So we scored 4 goals. Wow, against Brighton. No matter what, that's Brighton. They're a very well rehearsed team. So I take that positive, but of course, there's lots for us to do. Definitely.
And those were 4, we can say, well taken goals. The moves before the goals were all good.
They were.
Can I
yeah.
say something? The one thing that impressed me about Jackson's goal was his composure. He seemed so composed.
Yes.
As if it was just a drill. I mean,
And he left the goalkeeper with no chance.
No,
Roofing it like
listen,
that is wow.
listen, there are certain goals that are just unstoppable.
Yeah.
But he made it look easy. And you know, and I know, in any sport, whether it's golf, table tennis, you name it, when a player makes it look easy, you know it's bloody hard. So that's the one thing. Also with Mudryk goal, he was technically sublime because his knee was over the ball. So there was no chance of it ever going over the bar. So he was technically sound on that. Also, one thing I do want to say is that, by the way, just about being composed, that's the most important ingredient.
Mudryk needed that.
Yeah,
the
yes,
way
he
he
did.
celebrated, he really needed
Yeah,
that.
that was like scoring in a Champions League final, wasn't it? No, to me, one of the most important ingredients of being clinical is being composed. And, I think he showed that in abundance. So I'm really impressed with him thus far. The other thing I want to say is, and this is from a goalkeeper's perspective, being selfish, I love the way that Gallagher read the position. If you look where he was and then accelerated and put his body on the line, that's what you should be doing.
Yes.
These are the fundamentals, the basics.
Yes.
And I can honestly say the last year and a half, I hardly ever saw that, especially in abundance from any Chelsea player, any. Maybe
He's so
Silva
underappreciated because of his weaknesses, which is really sad.
and he does. He has deficiencies, Bobby. He does. There's
but
no
he's so useful to the team. Even his goal, he took it well.
Yes,
Roger.
and he does that, Bobby. Listen, he has deficiencies. You're never going to confuse him with Ronaldo or Messi. There is no mistaking that. His first touch is quite poor for a professional player. But just like I say with Sterling, this chap does have positive attributes. And the one thing is his industry, his willingness to put the body on line. And the other thing is he's clinical. You look at my favorite player the last decade or so.
And he wants to play for the club.
Yeah, that's half the battle right there. My favorite player for Chelsea the last decade or so has been N'Golo Kante for obvious reasons. I mean, but the one thing, listen, I'm not saying he's not clinical, but he didn't score enough goals for Chelsea. And that could be because of the role he was playing. I get that. But you look at, I'm not even comparing the two, but you look at him and you can see that he scores when given the chance. He really does. Listen, you score, I think it was 11 and 4 assists, whatever it was for Palace. I mean, that tells you he's capable of scoring in a very hard league. So, and the fact that he's willing to put the defensive shift in, that's half the battle won then again. So I was really impressed with that. I want to see more defensive sacrifices by players, And as for Colwell making that mistake, well, they say, what's the old adage? The first thing that goes before your legs give up is your brain. You make mental errors. So it very well could be the case, because that was a stupid error in my point of view, because that tackle should never have taken place, especially with the right foot. So,
wait, you're saying that was fatigue, was it?
I'm sorry, sir.
You're saying it was fatigue setting.
It could be, because when
most likely fatigue. You can see from his face actually he was beat. If you can see him completely, you can say that sort of situation where you see somebody talking to themselves after making a mistake. He probably realized he shouldn't have done that. But when you are that mentally tired, you can see your judgment will be impaired, and you make such rash decisions and all that.
Most players always tell you that your legs don't go first. It's the mental game. It's the mistakes. Your concentration drops before it's the first thing that goes, and that could very well be the mistake. Listen, I've been to Pennsylvania. It's humid. It's hot. I didn't like it. So these players are not used to playing in this kind of weather. This is a winter sport after all, So I'm not making excuses, but it was a very poor decision in my opinion. And hopefully that was the case where fatigue was. But he'll learn. He'll live and learn. He's young, and thankfully it's a meaningless game.
All right, let me catch up on what we have in the chat. I'll bring in Ty and Banfordino, who's here waiting. Let's see what we have here, Coach. For me, I think Fabrizio Romano, I think 2 weeks ago, reported that we will explore the centre back market and see who's available and what player. But I'm not too sure. I'm not sure if we're going to do that. I just don't know. We'll find out what the club does after the signing of Moises Caicedo. But I wouldn't, because of what happened yesterday, and then rush into the market for a centre back. I think there's still time to see if there's a need to do that. Angelo is a star boy. He's good. There's a good player in him, and I think his stays are very encouraging. And if you're in the chat, I'm going to get your opinion. What were your what are your observations for that game? The ups and the downs. Just to put it there. It'd be interesting to see what you have there. A very encouraging outing for the boys against a very organized Brighton. They've been together for a while, like Bobby alluded to. For us, we just have too many players. Even at that, we still were able to give a good account of ourselves. Newcastle will be a stiffer challenger, but if we do well, coach, that's a clear road into the top 6. And no backdoor issues. Now I know who's talking. But B. Brian, 19, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Roger, I thought Brighton only paid $4 million for Caicedo. They will pay at least 30 to 50 million to replace him. That makes the sale more expensive.
Perhaps. Yeah. We don't know that, though.
We don't know. Yeah. Wally Water says they should be cutting Colwell some slack. Yet, just come. Yes, some slack. Yes, a comeback from being in the under-21, who's even what is that? The under-21s, even Mudryk didn't play. Yeah, so I think he may well be fatigued. Like, yeah, that's a better language for it. Jackson has looked a bit like a Giroud. That could link up with the attack. He's an excellent player, and we'll talk about him in a bit. Let's see. The kids are probably tired. He's played non-stop football for the past year, and he's basically only had 2 weeks off. Yeah, so he could be. There's a chance he's mentally tired. So we must be cautious not to overplay him even before the season starts. That. Hope Jackson carries on playing like this. He doesn't change. If you watch him at Villarreal, that's how he played for them. That's how he applies himself on the pitch. More importantly, he's not selfish, and that's what I like the most. One assist was Carney. A commentator made mistake, Roger. Okay. Let's see. Big up, coach. Big up to you, to Phil Sims and the panel. Please subscribe and like the video. In case people still want to watch the match, it's available on the Chelsea app. Oh yeah, and that's another place you will find it. But usually it takes a few days or so before it becomes available. But if you say it's available, I believe you. But if you have Peacock, you can find it there. But let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We are missing someone like Manu Kone or Lavia in this midfield. We cannot have Gallagher and Enzo in defensive situations. Okay, let's see what the club does. It's up to the manager to decide whether he wants more players or not. I agree. Chelsea need Caicedo. Caicedo wants Chelsea. What is the hold up? I will find out for you. So relax. When I do, I'll let you know. Kukurea, Chalobah, and Hall, CB, and you thought Brighton would not score. That's a good way to put it too. I had the feeling they would when I saw Kukurea and Chalobah as CBs. That's one thing a lot of people aren't talking about. Yep, Kukurea, yeah, he changed position. He played centrally when we considered how many goals when he played that CB role. So yeah, so I'm not complaining too much. So right now, I wouldn't say that's reason enough for us to just rush into the market and start searching for a centre back. Rain, always nice to see you, Rain. I hope you're doing well. More importantly, Namaya said Jackson, a good C coach. Okay, let run from Caicedo and don't need him anymore. Really? Okay. Moises says, I think our next game will be much improved. This is a learning curve for both players and coach to improve on flow, blend in positioning awareness. I do agree with you. That's the case. Premier League proven narrative is nonsense, but some advantage to that. I'd rather sign a player who's equally as good as another player that we're looking to sign from another league. The fact that particular player has played in the Premier League reduces the risk of us signing a player that finds it difficult to adapt to the league. So it's still, again, there's still some measure of, you could say, advantage to signing a player that's played in the Premier League, if that makes sense. This Kukurea at CB doesn't work, especially with Mr. Shaky Boots Chalobah. It didn't work. I agree with you. If it was like left centre back, he's played there before, and he was brilliant when he played for us in that position. But the manager, he knows exactly what he's doing, and we don't know. Let's see Bobby Segal at the stand. Nothing wrong in that. He's entitled to his opinion. Caicedo and Donny van der Beek. Wow. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Can we beat up from Batman? I don't think it's happening. I know there are rumors out there saying we're looking to sign him. We're interested in signing him. The question will be, wouldn't Batman want to come to Chelsea? No. I think everybody knows that his preferred destination is a Real Madrid, and he will end up joining them. Gallagher stand. Okay. Let's see. Not gonna lie, Madrid have valued Chomeni at 70 to 80 million. I'd rather us get Chomeni than get Lavia or Van der Beek. Not Van der Beek, actually. Maybe Lavia plus Caicedo, I'll be fine. Maybe Caicedo plus Chomeni, I'd take him. That's just me. A 10 out of 10 for Jackson in his first 2 games for Chelsea. It looks like he has been at Chelsea for ages. He links up play in out of this world. His link up play is out of this world. Our wingers will benefit from him, no doubt. Yep. He's a fan player, and we're starting to see that. We don't need a scientist to tell us that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Ty. Your thoughts are, what are your observations from that game?
We definitely need a midfielder for sure. Hello. We definitely need a new midfielder for sure. Most definitely. I saw the difference when Enzo Fernandez came out. Well, I don't see a midfielder, because we do have midfielders, but those midfielders who are actually comfortable playing as a 6 or in a double 6 or whatever the structure is when it's being put into play. I think that there is a lot of issues in terms of having Conor Gallagher in a deeper position. I don't think that is his best position, and we even saw it because he ended up scoring a goal when he was granted the opportunity to go forward. So if you're going to keep Gallagher, he has to be in a position where he's more advanced. The only defensive aspect that he should be included in is if the team is defending as a unit, or if it's a case of trying to keep the midfield more stable. And I don't think he's a player that should be playing deeper. It's some strange thing that I've seen with 3 managers now, and I don't understand why. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a defensive player. That is not his.
There's a click coming from your end. Is that your microphone? It's kind of.
Hold on. Let me do something quickly.
Is someone typing?
No, I don't think it's typing, really.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, Chris is
still there. Okay. So yeah, in terms of that, the midfield was the main issue that I had. There was a lot of lack of physicality for most of the midfield battles. I could see that. The attack was promising. It looked promising. I heard mention of Mudryk, which I was happy for, because we all know that he didn't really have a good season or half a season with Chelsea after joining. So
I think Ty is having audio issues.
In terms of that, I'm happy for him. Yeah, no reservations.
All right, I think Ty is having audio issues. Maybe he needs to go out and come back in. We can barely hear what he's saying. It's breaking up also.
Of the way that he plays, but he's actually proven me wrong. And I've heard mentions of him being a Giroud type of player. He's not as, I don't want to say slow, but he's not that slow as Giroud was. So yeah, his link-up play is good, but the attack was the the most promising thing that I saw. The defense still has some way to go. There's a lot of mistakes, and I think the goals were avoidable, especially the second most definitely, and the third goal for Brighton, because it, it was a mistake that could have been avoided. And the third goal was just lack of concentration and the unnecessary space that was granted to Pedro, and then you have him just putting the ball across and get his team a third goal. So it to me, the defense and midfield is one of the aspects that I think still needs work and requires some sort of adjustment. Yes, we do have players who look promising. Levi Cole on the ball, he looked promising. They were good aspects of the defense, but I still think that there's some thing that needs to be addressed in that area. And obviously the midfield, which is something that we're aiming to improve on. It's definitely something that needs to be done sooner rather than later, because when Enzo came on, you could see the difference. You could see the freedom that the players that were playing deeper had to play deeper. The freedom that they had, the trust, and something that I think when I was watching it on the Chelsea website, I heard the commentator make a valid point, and that is the fact that you have Kukurea, even though sometimes I find it questionable. He finds himself in the midfield, and the fact that it does remind me of what Man City do when they have the fullbacks playing as those extra midfielders to help in terms of keeping the balance there. But yeah, it was a good game. The goal scoring is very good, and I think Bobby was the one that said that scoring 4 goals against a Brighton that are a well-drilled team, a team that are accustomed to each other. They've played with each other for at least one season, so they do have the chemistry there. They do have the fluidity there, and you could see the difference between a team that has new or fresh players um, being there, trying to develop further chemistry and trying to work as a unit. But yeah, it was a promising game. It's 2 wins in 2 preseason games, and it's 9 goals in 2 games. So that is promising. It sounds good on paper. I just think that there's some aspects that obviously still need work, but there's still time, and that's what preseason is for. But it's most definitely better than the beginning of the supposed preseason that we had last year. And yeah, it is promising. I am and I'm happy that Pochettino is getting the philosophy that he has across, because it's important that that is done, and it's important that the players understand what he's about. And I've only heard of positive things in terms of having to work hard and the intensity that is required. And obviously, we know that Pochettino is a man who is very emotional. He's proactive. He doesn't wait until things are going a certain way before he reacts. And if he sees a player that isn't really performing to the level that he wants, he immediately corrects them. So that is positives. But yeah, everything looks positive in terms of the mistakes and the errors that we've had in the past year. But yeah, it's good, and I'm just hoping that it continues just the same.
All right, thank you, Timon. Try and catch up with what we have in the chat now. And now bring in Banfordinho to hear his opinion, his observations from the game. Coach, are you sure Nightbot is an AI? Clearly, it likes a Sterling. Are you trying to get Roger to start talking? They looked good physically and temperament wise. Okay. Now they needed to add technical ability on the ball. We needed to learn to control games and not give the ball away cheap. That's I'm not really concerned. I think these players are able to do that. It's just preseason for multitude of reasons. We were not able to control the game. Just waking up to see what's up this morning, and I'm sure you know what's up. And there's a chance also with regards of us not being able to control that game. There's a chance the manager wanted more goals, and probably he could have asked them to slow it down a bit, and that's a start to again. That's one of the ways you can control a game. But we wanted more. We were trying to attack even more. Roger, do you think we will be ready to beat Liverpool in exactly 3 weeks' time? I'll bring back that question in a bit. Let me catch up with the chat, please. I'm really disappointed in Sterling's performance, and we cannot still be saying his gut confidence issues. I hope Poch benches him if he continues like that. If he continues like that, be rest assured he'll be benched. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people.
Coach?
Sorry?
How poor was Sterling?
It was awful. It was
he
ridiculous,
really?
really. Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Oh,
maybe
boy.
if you watch it fully, maybe again once more, maybe then you get to understand what we're saying. Sterling is really disappointing. He has to step up in a hurry, or we have to sell him. Good luck selling him. Selling him isn't easy. I just want him to start leading by example. Yeah, I get it. He's a good person and all of that. The most experienced, but he has to lead by example. He can't be playing rubbish and it's again be seen as a leader. The fact that we can score is a good sign, and we're scoring. We scored 9 goals in just 2 games, so that's a lot. We need a better ball player, goalkeeper. Kepa is not good enough. Okay, that's your opinion there. We need a better. Okay, just a repeat of what you had there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all. Rosalina Chinyera, okay, your name, I love your name, Sadalo. Thank you, I appreciate you joining. Chelsea defense is weak. Okay, Chelsea striker Romelu Lukaku are still saying daily fitness results to Inter Milan, who remain on his mind, but the club no longer wants anything to do with him. Why would they trust him? I would not trust him. A player who's again was busy negotiating with my rival. With the rival club while we were preparing for a Champions League final. I don't think I'd forgive him. I want to see how Matson looks in left back. Chilwell probably should be the one tested out in the left wing position. Yes, Kepa was thinking for eternity while passing the ball, and at times he came near to a fatal error. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. I think Angelo is the answer. Thoughts on him, coach? I think he's a good player, and I think he stays. I think I've said that before. Maybe you didn't hear me say that. Vival Briani Yahayu, aka Vival CLC 343 Dynamo Contender FC. Nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join. Good career is finished. Okay, let's see. I am just happy to see us scoring finally. 9 goals in 2 games. That's not easy. Good morning, Coach. A lot of people, Mr. says, and everyone just woke up from a game hangover. I know you had fun. Yep. Again, I'm happy for you that you had to see them play live in Philadelphia. Hi, Coach Rito. Nice to see you. I am so happy to watch the Chelsea match. The offensive play they made. Okay, you were happy with that, but still lots of work to be done defensively after Silva and Gusto out. Okay, let's see what the club does. Once again, Angelo impressed me. I think he's different. Different from all the profile of players we have. Seems like the guy is okay. While talking, who? I'm not sure that word fapping up. Who is fapping up? Who you referencing? Okay, typing. I think they're talking about type. The noise feedback we were getting when you were speaking. Angelo has talent, Mudryk. Better take his chance when he gets it. Because right now Angelo is looking like a squad depth material. He's a starter actually. He's different from all the other players we have. And you can see that if you've watched him play. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Machos Trent TV, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Chelsea perspective is Ty wearing a lapel mic. It's rubbing against his clothes. Maybe that may well have been the the case, I don't know. If we cannot get a proper DM, we should try James, playing James in that position. Maybe he's capable of fulfilling that role, but I don't think we have that the role. You can say the luxury of experimenting. We need to hit the ground running and argue whatever you like. Playing Rich James in the defensive midfield role, it's simple. It will be an experiment, no matter how you see it. But that's just my opinion. Will be interference from another device, possibly. Those things do happen. Who told you we need a natural DM? We may well not be looking to sign a traditional DM. That may well be the case. It's not interference. It's just Mike rubbing against something at the same time. Wow, some theories right there, and I'm reading them. Okay. Chamera says, "What's okay?" I'm gonna move on from that. Let's see what we have here. This says the experience was good yesterday. Chelsea is almost like U.S. national team with support. We got Americans turned out massively for Chelsea thanks to Pulisic's influence. Not 100% for Pulisic's influence, because before we signed him, we have always been had a large you can say, is that, should I say the word followership? Or you can say followers in the United States. That's just my opinion. But yeah, but he increased that. Let's see what else we have here.
Coach,
What do we have here? I really hope the decision making ability of Chukwuemeka improves before the start of the season. The young man has good control, but gives the ball away is too easy. I think he becomes even more polished as he plays more game. Was anybody saying on the panel saying something?
Yeah, it was me, Coach. We were big in America long before
Pulisic, yeah.
You know, we've been selling out stadiums 90,000, 80,000. You know, it's not Pulisic at all. I mean, he didn't do us any harm, but sorry, he's not responsible for Chelsea's fan base in the United States.
He increased that. I agree. And I remember, was it Peter Kenyon, one of the directors then, saying they wish Roman attended one of the games in the US tour to see how big the club has grown in the United States, how popular the club has become in the United States. That was even before, about 4 or 5 years or so, or even more, before we signed Christian Pulisic. So yeah, but yeah, you can say he's increased that. How much of an increase? I don't know really. Coach, here's a recipe for experiencing Nirvana. Watch a 4-2-3-1 with a front of 4 of Mudryk and Kunku, Angelo and Jackson. That would be heavy metal stuff. Yeah, I think we'll see that. Like the exchange of passes, we can now do more than 3 passes without losing the ball or without going backwards. Let's see, what else do we have here? Lazio are now in advanced talks to sign Callum Hudson-Odoi. We've addressed that, Albert, but thank you for bringing it up again. PSG need a striker. This is not impossible. Okay, let's see. He's awful. Then Cho, who exactly are you guys talking about there? Not hearing appreciation for Kukureya's pass to Jackson. And I think Bobby talked about that. Bobby did again mention that, yeah, he did well when he played essentially in you can say in the midfield area. It was a beauty from a midfield position. Post game, Nico gave him credit saying that Kuku was his best friend. Yeah, I think it was a good pass. It was delicious, to say the least. That's just the way I like to describe good passes. Everyone around me were yelling, "Go back to City, Stalin." Yeah, I was like, a Saudi is where he belongs. I think they're the only ones that can afford him right now. Pep will not take him back. Kepa is not really bad. He needs more protection. That's how I see it too. If you're gonna blame him, stop blaming those that then close the spaces that opposition had to take a shot. And that Stalin is just creating a situation to get Todd Boehly to visit the dressing room halftime and call him out. He likes that treatment. He was redonkulous, really, I have to say. I'm sorry, but Stalin has to go. His performance was atrocious. I cannot afford to see him play anymore. Unfortunately, we're stuck with him. I'm going to keep repeating that. But I'm going to come to you right away. As much as I enjoy interacting with you, if I keep doing that, that's the only thing we do for the rest of the day. But I'll keep highlighting your comment. And if I see any good comment that I think we need to address, I will bring it up. So, yeah, Bamfordinho, your thoughts on the game?
Well, good morning to everyone, and
Good morning to you too. I
Good
appreciate you
morning.
joining.
I'll first of all say that if you are a Chelsea fan at this time of the day, you have to be very, very, happy for what is going on right now. It's like a revolution, and I saw a coach who is determined, who was well organized, who was talking to players, and they were
Mhm.
very focused. And if you are with James, you'll be sitting down and wondering, how am I going to combat with Malo Gusto, especially when the season starts. This gentleman was so perfect yesterday, and Mitoma was trying to give him hard time in the early stages, but he comported himself very well. He
Mhm.
was so fantastic. Also, if you see the young guys who are coming up, we should be very, very happy for that, because in the next 2, 3 years, if these guys are supposed to play together, I think Chelsea has a very bright future. I'm talking about Casadei, Conor Gallagher, Chukwuemeka, Santos, and Angelo. These are young guys with a very bright future. And I think the owners are doing very well to make sure that in the next future, Chelsea will be a force to combat with. When I saw the game yesterday, I was really happy, because this is a team that has been together for less than a month. For them to put up this performance was nothing but extraordinary. If you look at Brighton have been playing for the past 3 years or 4 years, and they play as a team. But we are trying to figure out what went on last season, and everything looks so perfect. I would like to recommend. I would like to say a very big thank you to the owners, because this was a visionary, effort to bring young guys together. And I've heard a lot of people talking about Sterling. As Chelsea fans, sometimes we have to exercise restraint, because if you look at Sterling, his finishing was very, very poor. But I don't think he's a bad player. I think he has to be talked to, because anytime he makes the run, he can make it so perfect. But when he gets into the box, he's just lost. He doesn't know what he's trying to do. And I think that doesn't make him a bad person. He has to be talked to. He has to show good example to the young lads, because everybody is looking up to him. And as a professional player, you can't continue to be doing that. Inconsistency is something you cannot add to your game, because he was making some wonderful runs, but whenever he gets into the 18-year box, I don't know what he will be thinking. Either he aired the ball, or he would just play so feeble, and that was unacceptable on his side. I believe if he's able to do something very well with that, Sterling will be very perfect, match in the game. And looking at Angelo, I think now it's going to be very difficult for that particular place, because we have Mudryk, we also have Sterling, and who is going to go out? I believe they might think that Angelo should be the one who should go on loan, but it will be very, very, disastrous for us to send that boy on loan, because what happens when these players go on loan, it's not that good, because you are going into a new team, and probably you are not going to get enough time. But if we are able to keep them here and let them play for like 1 year or 2 years, I believe that would be the best thing. And there is no need for us to overhaul the squad. We don't need more players. And even Poch has come out to say that we need a very smaller squad, people who are very committed, people who are ready to die for the club, people who are ready to defend the badge, to be here so that we can just manage the team very well. What happens is, if we bring in a lot of players, obviously they are going to go on loan. And when they go on loan, most of the time they don't come out good. It's a few of them who come out good, and they are able to rejoin the team. So my suggestion is that we should keep these young boys. What they did yesterday was extraordinary. It was so perfect. And I really like it as a Chelsea fan. If you compare this preparation with last season's preparation, you could see that there is a lot of improvements with the squad. Last year, by now, I was so sad that Arsenal destroyers in Orlando. Everything was in a disaster. Everything was so shamble. And if you look at this season, all the guys are so serious. They are all focused because nobody is expecting Chelsea to perform so bad next season. We are a big club, and what happened last season was so bad. And if you see these boys, the way they are focused, the way they are dying for this club, it was so good. And also my observation about the defense, I don't think we should be a bit concerned about the defense. They can just amend a certain area in the defense. Everything looks good. We have Thiago Silva. If we can get another center back who will assist the other two, it will be perfect. But I don't think all the squad came together or our first 11 came together because we're still missing James, and there are other areas that they have to look at since some of these defenders are have gone. If you look at Chaloba, people were saying that we should send a boy to a different club or something like that. I think he's still useful. We have to keep Chaloba for now because what he showed yesterday, to me, it wasn't bad performance. And to wrap it all, I will urge Chelsea fans, please, let's exercise restraint as we are about to enter a new season because the way sometimes we crucify these boys are so outrageous. People like if you look at a player like Conor Gallagher, he has come under so many attacks. And yesterday, to be honest with you, the way the boy comported himself, I think he was one of the best players on the field. He was really good, and I don't see why we should not keep him in the club. He was really doing good. So sometimes when things are going on like that, people should just sit back. They should give them the opportunity. They should just relax because most of the attacks, these guys hear it and they seems to react, and it doesn't go well. Last season, for instance, Mudryk came in, and it's true that we bought the guy very high price, but people were still attacking Mudryk, having forgotten that he's still young and there is war going on in his country. You don't know what he might be thinking at that point of the moment. He's still young and there are so many things going on in his country. So what we can even do is to like encourage some of these boys. If we go to their social media platforms, we should try and encourage them. We should say some good stuff to them, and I guess when they hear it, it will encourage them. But not when we go too personal, then we tell them leave our club, you are not good enough, you are not this. It's not helping them at all. We
Yeah.
should be able to at least encourage these boys because that's all that we have. If you like Chelsea, you might not be able to like do that. Some of these guys just talk anyhow and they attack the boys as if they are also not like human beings, which is rather unfortunate. And to talk about Jackson, it was a very good timing and it was a perfect, signing. This guy is so intelligent when it comes to like making runs. And if you look at him and Enzo, it's going to help a lot because last season you will see Enzo in the middle trying to reach out to an attacker. He will look around, and he finds nobody, and he will just send the ball back to keeper. But this time around, with Jackson over there, trust me, he's going to give a lot of defenders a lot of problems because he knows how to run. He's very skillful, and when he gets the ball, he has a way of like outwitting defenders. And if you look at the one touch he made with this guy Mudryk, it was a fantastic effort because we've seen some players who can get into the middle, who can get into the box, and they'll just lose the ball just like that. But this guy was so relaxed, and his pass was so perfect. And about Nkuku, the goal
Yeah,
he scored.
let's take it one by one. Let's take it one by one because we have other panelists and
Okay.
people. I know, yeah. As much as I enjoy listening to you, yeah, I know you can go the whole day because you're good at analyzing. You can say how players play, but I'll come back to you in a bit. Thanks for the clarification, and Bobby and Coach. Good to know. Chelsea has been a bigger, but he's a shirt sells. Yep, that if you talk about that, I agree with you. He sold. I think there's a year he sold more than Ronaldo and just behind Leo Messi. So I agree with you in that aspect, and he made the club a lot of money. But in the aspect of how big, you can say, the size of the Chelsea fans in the United States has always it has always been big, but he increased that. How the size of the increase, I do not know. I have to be honest with you, but I get your point, and that's why we're here to learn from each other. All while I was with us, a large number of shirts yesterday was his. I'm not going to argue against that because it's something I'm well acquainted with. Let's see what else we have here. I want to see Nkunku and Jackson line up next game. Nkunku gets isolated easily when up front on his game, and I think I have to say this quickly. He has more to his game, and that's why I've always argued, even before he came, that I wouldn't want to play him as not in the number 9 position, because you'd be wasting his talent. He has more to offer, and we don't have too many players of that profile in the team. It's just him. Jackson also is very creative. And let's see what the manager does. But I'd like him to play Jackson to start, and him playing him behind Jackson. Both, it can be a fluid approach where both each of the two players can drop to participate in the play, create a space or chance for the other player. But let's see what happens. I want to see that too. Kukurea, I think he was good. Why do all managers that come to Chelsea want Kepa as their number 1? Here's the thing. As much as I'm not going to get into the argument whether Kepa is a good goalkeeper or not, we're looking to sign goalkeepers. Have you not been paying attention? Do I think Kepa is a bad goalkeeper? I would say no. Do I think we can do better than Kepa? I'd say yes. But I'm just going to say be careful what you wish for. But rumors are that we're looking to sign, what's his name? Diogo Costa from, I think, FC Porto. And maybe, hopefully, we'll get him. But I'm going to say this. If we sign a new goalkeeper, we're signing a new goalkeeper that's capable of being the number 1. But let's see what the club does. Kukurea pass to Jackson. It was delicious. I wasn't happy with his overall game, but that moment was class. That shows you he has vision. And if you've ever heard me talk about or discuss Kukurea, I've always said one thing that makes him special is that he has that sort of player. He's capable of finding passing lanes where you don't know one exists, and I respect him for that. Let's see what else we have here. Chelsea play will improve over time, and I enjoyed the vertical of play. You can say the urgency in our play, the fact that we're not into just passing the ball around for the sake of it. It was, again, the passes were with purpose. If that makes sense, Chelsea boy, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Young Jackson cooking. And once more, if you haven't, go check out Mitchie Boy's YouTube channel. Let's have him get to 1,000 as soon as possible. Sterling will be unleashed with teams sitting with low block. He will be more effective in those games as will be Angelo. Sterling being effective in when we play against teams that defend deep when he can't even dribble. Okay, let's see how that works. Let's see. Wouldn't mind us swapping Rhys James for Tromeni. Again, Chalobah as right back option, and use Chalobah as right back option. Okay. Let's see. The panelists who say the Sterling is not bad, bro. Do you remember his salary? You cannot be a top earner and perform like that. If he was on like 100K, I would say a bit easy on him. Okay. His performance, you're saying his performance should be measuring how much he's earning. I think I agree with you. I've always thought maybe we'll sign the better of the two players, given that Arsenal signed Gabriel Jesus and we signed Sterling. But I'm beginning to doubt my, you can say, that take right now. Gusto's 1v1 defender reminded me so much of prime Aspilicueta, no lie. He kept Mitoma outside again so many times and locked him out. I think he was brilliant on the day. Let me see what else we have here. I want to highlight that because I want us to talk about Gusto, talk about the players individually. For Sterling's standard, he wasn't good. Okay, I don't even know what his standard is anymore. Might have described inaccurately. Here is what I mean. Sterling and Angelo will open up teams defending deep and sitting back games where opponents sit back with 5-4-1 formation. I'd still argue Sterling will not be effective when opponents defend deep. But then again, that is just my opinion. But that's, by the way, what else? Anything else I think I should get here? I've read so much from Jesse. Who else? I haven't read the comments here. And we have OT Vla. Either Sterling must go on loan or sell him or bench him. That guy is going to be a problem. Roger, you haven't watched the game. I would have asked you what do you think of Sterling's performance. But Bobby, let me start with you. Let's talk about Malo Gusto. What do you think about him? I was so happy watching him. I didn't know he was that good defensively. Even some people here in the chat I've heard people argue that he's actually he lacks defensively. It turns out he's actually good. He's quick. His tackles well timed and all that. And yeah, he silenced Mitoma. But that's just my opinion. But I think a lot of people have also said the same in the chat. But Bobby, your thoughts on Malo Gusto? I think we signed an excellent player there. If you're there, Bobby, you have the floor.
Yeah, I think Malo Gusto is a very good player. Very good player. He's going to be competition for Reece. I haven't quite seen his finishing. That's where I've seen Reece has a advantage over him. Reece has an eye for goal, and he seems to have just that little bit more quality. But that doesn't matter. Malo Gusto does a good job. With time and with him being more in the team, those qualities could come out. One thing I've noticed about a lot of these youngsters is they're keeping it simple. They're playing the way they're playing direct when they need to. They're not complicating things. Unlike Sterling still complicates things. Tries to dribble when he shouldn't. Loses
when he
the
can't,
ball.
you could add to that when he cannot dribble, actually. But go ahead.
Exactly.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Holding on to the ball, he gets beaten on with and without possession. It's just calamitous for a player of his age and of his income. It's embarrassing, really. And I don't know. He is a conundrum. He's a problem.
Well,
But
Bobby, can I just say something? Have you followed his career since Liverpool?
Doesn't matter. I've never been confident in him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. What you see in the last 12 months is exactly
what he's always been.
Yeah, exactly. What you see is what you get. This has always been the case, and I've been befuddled why he's been so highly rated in England and by just everyone. I don't rate him because he's technically inept. His first touch is woeful. And
yeah, I mean, this is a Todd Bowley era, isn't it? He came in when he was doing the director of football and everything, trying to get us a good marquee. He went for Sterling. I never wanted him. Many Chelsea fans that knew him better didn't want him.
Yeah,
but
what you see. Sorry.
So I was just saying, to answer about Malo Gusto, now he is a quality player and he's somebody that we should look forward to in the season. Yet again, is another one, you don't overplay him because he does have his little injury quirks, or rather he did. And remember, when the Premier League starts, it becomes very blood and thunder. I noticed a lot of the things that Brighton were doing. I call them Man City tactics. When we are on the counter, they will foul to slow us down, drawing players back, all those sort of dirty tactics. Now, our youngsters have to learn that. They have to learn to cope with that, and they have to learn to dish that out sensibly. What they're doing is almost like what the the Brighton defender, is it Henkel, did, in that he was very reckless in his tackling. And I noticed once or twice, out of frustration, Santos would put forward a reckless tackle, which he needs to be careful of because the officials penalised Chelsea quite a lot and they allow hostile tackles against us to go unpunished. But apart from that, Gusto will learn. He'll learn to be as strong as Reece James is. Another player that although I somehow, I'm not too worried about him. He's so nimble and quick that I think people trying to tackle him or to hurt him might end up just hurting themselves. And that's Jackson. I think Jackson will be able to evade a lot of the aggressive centre backs he's going to come across. But yeah, so far so good. I have been very pleased with what I've seen from Malo Gusto. Sorry, I've been talking up and down. I'll talk about him, then talk about someone else, but
you're happy.
it's quite
That's what I'm
interrelated.
sensing, and I like that. You're just happy. You can say the improvement was seen. It is easy. I'm happy too. So yeah, you're welcome to speak. Roger, you haven't watched it again, but just give me a few seconds. You said you haven't watched it again, or you need to watch it again. I didn't remember what you said, Roger.
No, I only saw the extended highlights, Coach.
Okay. But I'll come back to you. Maybe if you want to speak about Malo Gusto, I'd like to hear that. And God is great. Said Chukwuemeka, confident with the ball is underrated. His ability on the ball, you can argue that. I think he's good on the ball. What people are complaining with regards to him giving the ball away, something that's very common with players at this within his age bracket. The guy isn't 20 yet. I think at most he's 19. Or you can say, let me just say at most 20. How old is he?
Yeah, he is. He's 19. He's developing. I
yeah,
think
exactly. So at this age, you say you see such mistakes from a player at his age. So I'm not really concerned. He's actually.
I wanted to just say this one more thing about Jackson. Do you know who Jackson was giving me memories of? He's a unique player in his own right, but I was reminded quite a bit of Hernan Crespo. Hernan Crespo and his lethal finishing and the way he could skip past defenders. He wasn't great at dribbling like Jackson is, but his body movement was very, very deadly. Crespo at his pomp. So
he was an intelligent player.
He was.
Yeah, he exploits spaces very well. If you can get the ball to him, the rest assured you find the ball in the back of the net.
Exactly. And that's high praise indeed for Jackson. I did have some flashbacks of Crespo, especially that finish of his. That was very Crespo-esque, if I can use that term.
And the truth remains, I know some Chelsea fans will not know Crespo that well because he went out on loan and back again and all that. You could say things didn't really pan out well for him at Chelsea, but if you followed him, his career, like in what Italian club again, he was a lethal finisher. But that's, by the way, brother, the fact that we are going for...
Crespo came to us in his 30s, which wasn't ideal. He had sort of gotten past his very best.
Yeah, but I will never forget that lone goal he scored for us that we won. I think it was against Wigan. We beat them 1-0, and it was that delicious finish that helped us win it. Brother, the fact that we're going for we're not going for him to bring him into the team. Even if we do, we need numbers there. What if Jackson gets injured? If you get my argument, but rumors are that we're signing him. We will sign him and send him out on loan to send him to our sister club. What's it called? Is it Strasbourg and all that? Nice PC setup. Thank you, Redo. I know I haven't said hello to you. Apologies. We have too many comments in the chat. Plus, I'm being cautious with my voice until it heals properly. I have realized I cannot expect Sterling to show some level of super fast pace, light in attacks. He is well past those Liverpool days, and the other players we have in our squad are much faster. You could argue he's at Chelsea just to earn the money. He hasn't done anything that measures how much he's earning. I hope he proves me wrong again, but I'm concerned really. Isaac Mensah, Borampa, and says, please, it's okay. It's left with two things to change keeper, with a new keeper and Sterling to be on the bench. Good to
Coach,
go.
what's that guy talking about? Sterling's 28. These are meant to be his peak years. So, I mean,
maybe you need to read the comment again. I think he's been a bit sarcastic there. Yeah, Pochettino says they also want experienced players. He said that several, but he also said if we have players, even if they're young, if they're good enough, he's okay by with that. We appreciate Gallagher's energy in goal, but he's not talented. Okay, that is your opinion, and you have every right to express that. Let's see what else we have there. Enzo, in my opinion, doesn't suit Pochettino. Not denying he's a talent, but the guy cannot run at all a zero pace. Then he will find a way to accommodate him. But that's, by the way, Roger. Let me come back to you. Do you want to talk about Melo Gusto or any other player you think? You go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't see enough of Gusto in the highlights to base a comment on him yesterday, unfortunately. So I can't really say that. From what I did see, the one person that did disappoint me from a defensive standpoint on the third goal, if I'm not mistaken, was Cucurella. He was ball watching. He was, yeah.
That was when he played centrally, right?
Yeah. I don't know. He was definitely. He was. Yeah. He was.
Yeah.
He was.
I
He
think
lost his
probably
man.
you
He
need
was
to watch
ball
the
watching.
game. You need to watch the whole 90 minutes to
No,
understand what went
sure.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I'm talking about from the goal itself. He was turned inside out. He was clueless, and it looks like he was ball watching. To be honest with you, he was out of position. And listen, it's so early in his Chelsea career, but just I'm not bringing in the equation. I'm not talking about the price of him. That's irrelevant right now. That's a different subject matter
He's not a
altogether.
centre back, and I don't know why people try and put him there. He's
In a
very
back three,
deficient
he
as a
is.
centre-back.
In a back three, he could be. But I'm just saying, from what I agree with you, though, for the most part, for what we've seen of him thus far, and yes, I know it's kind of unfair to mention last year, but so far he's so erratic. He's so from a really poor season last year, he was one of the most erratic players on the team. He provided very little consistency whatsoever. More than most, actually. And listen, it's so early in Poch's tenure and his coaching staff that, as I said, we're going to have some disappointments and some surprises. But I hope he proves me wrong. But I have a strong, suspicious feeling that I don't think he's going to pan out for us. I really don't. I haven't seen enough of him to warrant a starting place. I really haven't.
I agree.
I honestly am befuddled how he won Brighton Player of the Year the season before last, the penultimate season. I really am, because I understand it was under a different team with Potter and Brighton, but he has looked quite inept at times for Chelsea. But it's early, though. You never know. He could really turn it around, but I've seen no justification whatsoever.
Just a few seconds here. Reason's Kingdom Stalin has to improve as soon as possible. Let's see if that happens. What else do I have to get here? A lot of conversation going there, and I like that. This says Havertz is getting slandered in the Arsenal fan base, and it's beautiful to you. Okay. He's no longer a Chelsea player, and I've moved on from him 10 years ago. I appreciated that it was a Pep who basically micromanaged the Sterling to make him perform as well as he did at City. It's a far cry from the Sterling Sturridge Suarez attack we saw at Liverpool. I'm not sure what really happened. At Chelsea, it looks like he's here to retire, honestly. Big up to you, Glenn 10. Always nice to see you, brother. Much love to you. Big up, coach. Good game yesterday. Second half was more fun to watch, but we cannot concede goals like that. I'm going to say this again. I'm not concerned. There are a multitude of reasons why that happened. And if you paid attention well, I think you'd realize the same. But more importantly, I hope you're doing well, Glenn. Starling wants to play from the left wing. Interesting to see what happens there. If coach wants Maatsen to stay, I hope Poch can find a way to use both Maatsen and Hall in this team. I want Hall to get a chance. He's such a talent. I want him to get a chance. If we play with him, his development, other clubs will come and snap him up. Hanan Krebspo, what-class player. He would be good for another big team in England. Would have been at the time. It's just that he doesn't suit Mourinho's football. You can't argue that. Yeah, that was why he didn't last. But he saved us in that game, that lone goal. It was a very tight game on the day. Let's see what else we have here. Ooh, I like these new angles, Coach. Oh, thank you so much. Glad you appreciate it. More to come. Gradually, we're growing, and hopefully soon, Jersey will start hosting shows and other people. So it'd be easier. We're a community now, and I alone cannot carry the community, and the panelists alone cannot carry the community. But thank you, Glenn. Nice to see you. I appreciate you saying that. Yes, Kukurea get caught out for the third goal. Got on nutmeg too early. I want to see Martin in defense. I think Martin lack of height is an issue, but I want to see how him and between him and Kukurea, who's the taller of the two. If somebody in the chat can help us, I'd really appreciate that. I want to see how this team fares against strong teams like United and City. Will they have the mentality to come back from two or three goals down? Can they show resilience and collective teamwork? Hopefully, we don't concede 3 goals, let alone not come back from it. Please, I don't want to see that happen. Brighton effortlessly replace him with a superior player. Tell you everything. Barely gets a call for his national team. He could improve, but for me, he'd be a good depth at best. Okay, let's see what Pochettino does with him. What is wrong with people? Sterling didn't play well at City. He missed almost all chances over there. I remember Nick Blue fighting, saying, "Don't get it." He misses a lot of chances, but we'll see what happens. Jackson CFC, nice to see you again, bro. You're going in and out, but I appreciate it. The fact that you stay around and probably was listening and had to come in now. We cannot afford to let that happen. Others will see our club as a retirement FC. So Sterling out for me. For me, may not be for us. That's fine. His thing, can we sell him? I think we should address that actually. Sterling needs to be more decisive in the final third. And you know what? At the moment, I think he should stop trying to dribble because he just cannot. It hasn't worked for him for like 10,000 years now. Runs himself into a wall far too more often. I won't deny his work ethic. He changed diets and even yeah, that interview was ridiculous. In my opinion, I have to tell you that. He changed diet, and even last season, I was shocked to hear him talk about diets. He's just making excuses. I'd like to see Mudryk and Madsen. I hope again. I think we'll see them both sometime. That's what I think. Just saying hello to people there. Big up Kachila at the chat in the panel. Nice to see you, Chelsea, all the way. No goal there was fault. No goal there was Kepa's fault. The Kepa hate must stop. It's becoming an agenda. You have every right to defend him, but I wouldn't blame him for those goals. I have other arguments with regards to Kepa's Chelsea future. Sterling is a Pep reject. Let's be real. The reason he left a trophy snatching City is because he wasn't getting game time. He didn't like the competition and bench warming. Poch needs to let him go. It's not about letting him go. You guys don't seem to be paying attention. I will take Corin Hazard not in shape over Sterling. Oh, anytime, any day. Honestly, Sterling is past. Unfortunately, was Colwell an undercover Brighton? Maybe it's a parting gift for them. It was you can say I get it. Probably mental fatigue, if there's anything like that. Imagine we sold Billy Gilmore to Brighton for 10 million. That upsets me so much. But he wanted to leave, and we had to sell him. Unfortunately. Good morning to you two. Good morning. Nice to see you, Mudryk and Madsen in a 40-yard dash would be fun to see. But what I saw yesterday, we have to talk about that. That was a ball I thought had already gone out for corner kick, and how he caught up to it, I just don't know. I think we have to check his legs, see if he's a machine. Was Colwell? I've responded to that. Sterling will come good. I hope he does. Not in shape. Hazard still runs laps around most people. To be frank, I get it. I think he's a better dribbler than a better creator than Raheem Sterling, actually. But let me start you with this, JC, since you've joined us. Do you think, even if we want to sell Sterling, do you think we can sell him? Let's sort that out.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to
Let's
sell
talk
them, they
about
will
it.
be buyers. They will be.
So big up to you. More importantly, pardon my bad manners.
Hello, everybody. Hello,
Hey,
Roger.
JC.
hello, Bobby. Okay, it was really exciting evening. I must say, a fantastic match to watch. A little bit of a wild thing, because there is no points, there is no league, and it's kind of a friendly, but no, both teams don't want to lose as well. It was fantastic. It was all everybody going left, right.
It was like we were watching a Premier League match. Sorry to cut you.
Yes, and it was maybe a friendly, but with intensity, end-to-end stuff. Really end-to-end stuff. Both teams going for it, and it was fun to watch. Really fun to watch. Sterling, I tell you, if we want to sell Sterling, there will be suitors. There will be a line of suitors. He is very good in specific things, what he does. Let me say my take on the match, if you ask me. Yes, very brief.
Yeah, go ahead. I ask you.
Yeah,
JC,
so,
go ahead.
See, we played in a system where we were almost like pressing high and trying to make a quick counter attack at the top, and we were literally like three at the back: Malagusto, Thiago, and Colwell. That's how we were set up nearly. Chilwell was sent on the top, stay there. Matson was asked to be almost as a midfielder, and Sterling was asked to be at the other end, stay at the top. Which really, literally first 15 minutes, end-to-end stuff, Gusto was under pressure, a lot of pressure, because he was bombarded by Joe Pedro, he was Gilmore behind him, and then Mitoma. And to handle all those three alone was difficult, because he needed really Andre Santos to be perfect in his positioning and fall back and help him. And he needed Sterling, but Sterling was asked to be standing up front. So he struggled. We considered a goal. And all the attacks which came, like it was end-to-end stuff, their attacks were coming from that direction. Their pressure was coming from that direction. And we were pressing. Nkunku was standing, because Brighton starts with a block of 4. They play out from the back. And Nkunku was standing right in the middle of those two fullbacks. And the moment Brighton goes to the left side or to the right side, and we press hard on those areas, like on that directions, unless they go back to the goalkeeper. So it was tactically a very interesting game. And once we conceded, okay, it was like end-to-end stuff. So when there was a water break at something like 22 minutes and all, you will see Poch was very animated. He made changes. And what I saw the changes was Sterling was asked to come back and help Gusto a little bit more. And Sterling was not on the top all the time. And then, okay, of course, I mean, we improved. We got the goal from a quick counter-attack, or like recircling of the ball in the front. And in the second half, the new cavalry came, and they were the totally, high-speed, Top Gun kind of like fighter jets attacking, and that was exciting to watch. Jackson, Mudryk, and Angelo, we really bashed them. As for our goals, if we look at how we consider our goals, the first goal we considered was a set piece at a phase where Gusto was a little bit under pressure. He was struggling. He was gasping for air, because he was running between 3 good top players. And okay, I mean, that happens. The penalty Colwell considered. Colwell was brilliant. Let's not criticize him. He was brilliant the whole game. The penalty, I think, like he had Mudryk in front, and he had also Cucurella in front, and he was anticipating that the other opponent is going to take a shot. That's what Brighton attackers have been doing it. And he put in front his leg to stop the shot. but the player was looking for a contact, and he was trying to go inside the D and inside and look for a contact, and he got the contact and he got the penalty. And that was like, you could see on Colville, he was not very happy. Okay, I mean, it's an error, I shouldn't have done that, but that's a small thing. If you watch the whole game, he was brilliant. And the other goal we conceded, I mean, it was literally like,
Are you saying Roger should watch the whole game before he criticizes him?
No, no, it's not that.
No, I'm just kidding, Roger. I'm just kidding. No, I
know.
I
watched I've seen that tackle, and it was a tackle. I don't think he was going for a block. He was going for the ball, gentlemen. That's the way I saw it. And
yeah, but the opponent was smart. He really was looking for a penalty, and Colville.
Sure, they all do, but he didn't get the gentleman. He didn't get the ball. He got the player, and I understand
the shot. He wasn't expecting the player to be coming to him.
Listen, this is just
Roger. Let's let JC drop. You can come back in.
Because I look at the whole match, and these goals. Okay, even Poch said, okay, these were unfortunate. We should have avoided, and a more focused and serious approach. We will not let in so many goals. This is a kind of a preseason, and we are experimenting, and it's fine. It's fine. Second goal. Okay, the moment this happened, Colville took a bad fall. I mean, there can be serious injuries to knee with those type of things. So I think Poch also took him off after that. Also concerned a little bit about his shape and condition. And that was a time when we made so many changes. Hall came in, Colville was removed, Humphreys was dropped in, and Chalobah was asked to move to the right back. I mean, everything was changed. And then this guy goes in, Pedro, and he dribbles past, and it's a mess. Like, it's the moment where nobody is settled. There have been so many changes. Everything has been changed. That goal was unfortunate. In a normal game, that will not happen. I mean, there were two players trying to be at the same phase. Two set of two players. Cucurella and Hall doing the same thing, and Humphreys and Chalobah doing the same thing. Because they literally had a change 1 second ago, and the communication was still not clear. Other than that, if you look, Thiago is a little bit slow. That's understandable. But if you look at Colville and Chalobah, how they were marshalling when they little bit of time they were both at the back. Wow, they looked too stalwart standing at the back. They played well. They really played well. Another thing I noticed. We had Chilwell asked to stay up front, and Colville was throwing in balls, speech of balls, like up front to him. Even Matson one time took a throw in and set Chilwell free. But Chilwell, after all the recent injuries, he still needs some time to regain his pace. He is fast, but he's not Mudryk. Imagine if Mudryk was given those balls. Man, that guy rocket. I mean, imagine what we are in.
I did see that. I couldn't see that ball that I turned had gone outside for you could say a goal kick. How he was able to catch up to it, I just don't know. Just quickly, Jesse, I'll come back to you in a bit. Here, Glenn 10 says, I'm not sure if he has been mentioned a lot already, and in what way, but Gallagher, he brings in he brings it every time. Looks a bit shaky, yeah, but that will improve with time. He become even more polished, especially under Mauricio Pochettino. But he has to stay, in my opinion. I think he stays. I think the rumors out there saying Gallagher is open to leaving. It's absolute nonsense.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Because the first question here was Sterling. If you look at Sterling, Sterling of the beginning was when in Liverpool he was with Sturridge and Suarez, and they were really lightning fast attackers. But Sterling in City was different. He was on the left side attacker, and he always could dribble because the defender was always in a dilemma whether he will cut in or whether he will go behind him on the left side and cut in the ball and cross in the ball. And there was always this dilemma, and he was always breaking those lines, defensive lines. Right now he's playing on the right side, so that, and his left foot is not really that strong, huh? So the dribbling becomes a little bit more hard. And to be frank, the tactics were such, like, he had to, if you ask him to run from top of the pitch to the back of the pitch, it's past him. That's what I mean. I mean, he's 28, okay, but he is not like that. Like one moment he will be with gusto, and the other moment he will be right at the top. So we are being a little bit more harsh on him, but I mean there are other players who are lightning fast in our team, and I think his role would be on the left side more when we are playing against team like defending in two blocks of like 4 or 5, and then he will be able to cut inside or go to the behind the defender and cut in the ball to for tap-ins, something like that, which he was doing all the time at City. But if you ask me, will there be takers for Sterling? Oh yes, oh yes. Many teams in UK will take him. Many teams will take him.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate that. We will win many trophies if we get a classical defender in place of Silva's age. Okay, Silva's age is on his neck. Seriously and sincerely speaking. Oloki David, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. What else is here that I need to address? People are just having conversations there. Very good analysis. Glad that you're enjoying it. God is great. I appreciate you saying that. Starling to Saudi team maybe who in the EPL would want to pay his wages. That's a huge issue too. Yeah, lack of sleep. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. I can't be reading everything I'm seeing there, please. Be prepared to win games 6-5 next season. You're really concerned about Kepa. He says hashtag Kepa out. Okay. Is this fan base suffering from Starling syndrome? We're having a conversation. That's what confidence does to Mudryk. That was an entirely different winger than I saw last season. You can argue that the pace, how quickly he got to that ball, I just couldn't believe it. Really, we literally had to score 4 goals to win the game. I'm coming to you in a bit. Let that sink in. Yeah, we had to do that. Starling was barely helping Gusto defend too. I remember one moment Mitoma had a free option because Starling was working. Yeah, are you not entertained? Glad that to say I remember that line. I have I've said it time and time again. Kepa isn't good enough. Yeah, that's your opinion. You can keep saying it from now to tomorrow. That's up to you. But everything, the club, they do what they want. From Carlo Cudicini to Petr Cech, Tibo Courtois to Kepari to Palaga. Are you kidding me? He got married and got worse. He cannot even pass anymore. And that was his strength. That's just, come on, man. Give him a slack. That was just one misplaced pass. And that happens, actually. The Prince is here. Big up the Prince, my trusted family. Happy Sunday to everyone. That reminds me, I have to go to church.
That was not a misplaced pass. That was a clearance because he was hardly given any time. He was just thrown back the ball. And he did actually clear it well.
We're talking about a different situation. There was one that was clearly a misplaced pass.
Exactly. I mean, he didn't misplace any pass.
So maybe we're mixing things up here.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to go watch it again. There's one, in my opinion, I would say it was a misplaced pass. I would take Robert Sanchez on loan at this rate. Okay, let's see. Not sure about that. I remember one moment when they got in behind with a pass between Cowell and Kukurea. Chalobah and Kepa were left scrambling in. Brighton nearly scored some, you can say, some competition needed. Okay, let's see what the club does. I'll take any keeper with full arm's length. Wow. Okay. That's a very, very polite way of saying he's a short man. If correct me if I'm wrong, hear me out. Lukaku in goal, you shall not pass. Maybe he's a good goalkeeper. You never know. Yeah, maybe that's the case. But thank you, Glenn. Sterling played on the left for Liverpool too, but at Man City, he had his best individual season when he was right wing and same left wing. He has been disappointing. Let's call a spade a spade. I haven't seen anybody that said he's done well. So you're fighting with yourself there. I just have to let you know that. Let's see. Nope, I am lining up a truckload more capacity. Coach, stand by. And you're going to have to come onto the panel and read it by yourself. But Ty, I'm going to come to you. Ty, do you think even if we want to sell Raheem Sterling, do you think we can sell him?
Um, I would say never, but right now I don't think that is really much of a possibility. Um, Based on wages and based on what he's done, unless it's the Saudis or something like that. I don't think there's many clubs that would be willing to give him the wages that he's earning at Chelsea, and based on his performances and the lack of um, impressiveness that he has in terms of when he plays, I'm not really sure about that. That isn't to say that clubs won't come in for him or they can't come in for him or they won't. But the wages is something that I think would be an issue. And in terms of what he can do, there's a good player in Sterling. He is not the same player. He's gotten older. His dribbling ability, his ability to hold up the ball hasn't always been great, but it's obviously declined since. But I'm not sure about selling him and him not having to reduce his wages to leave, because I'm not sure how much clubs will be willing to sign
Exactly.
him and considering the wages he's earning, be willing to give that to him with the optimism that he will improve or he will somehow offer more than he's offering at Chelsea. I'm not sure about that. The wages is probably going to be a stumbling block or a roadblock to any move for him. And the only way I see that happening is if his wages, or if he's offered a wages less than what he's offered now and he decides to leave. And right now, I don't think Sterling wants to leave, and he doesn't have any reason to leave as well. So I'm not sure about that. So it doesn't seem like a possibility unless the wages is gonna be more, or if he's getting more money being offered to him by another club. I don't know. I don't think it's something feasible right now.
Yep. It's not
Coach.
feasible, but a lot of people again don't think so. Go ahead, Roger.
Yeah. So here's the deal. I think I agree with what you just said, but basically, I think for him to leave, A, he doesn't want to leave, which I totally concur with. B, if for instance the coaching staff wanted to sell him, the team wanted to sell him, where would he go? He would have to knowingly accept a reduction in salary. You're looking at United that can afford him. Would they want him? Probably not. Newcastle, probably not. City, obviously not. There isn't many teams that would want him. I disagree with JC, with all due respect. I don't think there is a lot of UK teams, that's the term you use, that would want him. I don't believe that. I think, yes, Saudi, definitely, but I don't think he would want to move overseas. I could
Newcastle?
be. Yeah, I mentioned Newcastle. I don't believe so. I don't think they would want him. I really don't.
Arsenal?
He's too expensive, and it's not like he's
Arsenal,
been
mate.
like ripping up
Arsenal,
trees and all that. Yeah,
Arsenal,
go ahead,
Villa?
go ahead,
Arsenal or
go
Spurs.
ahead, Roger. Let's let Roger
No,
talk.
it's
Go
okay.
ahead.
Arsenal or Spurs could very well, but I'm not sure about their overall budget, their FFP. I'm not sure.
Aston Villa?
So you could go through all of them, and you know what? It's all about his salary. They're willing to pay him 300,000-400,000. I doubt it very much a week. I'm talking about, not per annum, obviously. No, especially based on his current form. And listen, my biggest compliment for him is the fact he makes very intelligent runs at the near and far post, and he only developed that after a few seasons with Pep. Prior to that, his intelligent runs, I've seen about 3/4 of his entire matches. I watch virtually all. I would say I watch about 3/4 of Liverpool games every year. Okay, so and then City, I watch about the same. And I'm telling you, what you see from him currently is what you get. What has always been him, without exception, really. For the most, I'm talking about on a consistent basis. You know, I admit his dribbling has actually regressed, if anything, but he won't have a huge following for purchasing. Listen, that doesn't mean you're wrong. Who knows, that they could be queuing up. But my opinion personally, I don't see that happening at all, based on his production and his production is woeful lately. So listen, he left the team that just
Please,
won the
can the
treble. So
person
what does
this
that
call is
tell
coming
you?
from? Can you mute it, please? Where the call is coming from? Go
So
ahead, Roger.
so basically, listen, he came from a very good team where he was starting quite often, and his first season where he doesn't play, they win the treble. Coincidence? I think not. Now that's a bit unfair, but I couldn't resist that cheap shot. With regarding Colwell, I'll be honest with you. No, I haven't seen the game, but don't conflate the whole game with that one play. That one play, he has two players to his left. It's a tackle / block that should never be made, period, especially inside the box. That was my whole conjecture on that.
I
And
mean,
so,
but it'd be legit to argue the reason why he made
yes,
such tackle. But go ahead.
listen, you can play 90 minutes where you were absolutely incredible, but that one mistake could lead to you losing a game. So it negates it. But we're conflating. I'm talking about one play that I saw, and that one play led to a goal. And so that is a justified criticism because it was a tackle that he made with his right foot when the player is going to his left. So technically, that's a very poor tackle. You don't do that. It's that simple. Whether it's a block or a tackle, it's immaterial actually, because the actual mechanism, the mechanics of it is resulting in the same thing. It should never have applied. Listen, I like the chap. I rate him very highly. I'm not against him. I'm just saying on this one play, regardless of whether he was fatigued or not, it was a very poor play. You cannot dispute that. It's that simple. That was my whole point. It's regardless, irrespective of the fact that he's had an outstanding game. It's just that these are the type of tackles that you make in a box that cost you games. It's that
All right.
simple.
All right, thank you so much, Roger. I'm gonna go to Bobby. Bobby, people are saying, let's just. I just want us to address. I want us to address that when people are saying sell Raheem Sterling. Do you think we should sell him? One, do you think even if we want to sell him, do you think we can sell him?
I don't think we can sell him for two reasons. One, we wouldn't fetch anywhere near the price we paid for him, and his
47.5
wages.
million.
You know, people are talking about Spurs, Arsenal, this, but Spurs and Arsenal are not there to just mop up any player that Chelsea doesn't want. You know, they have large squads as it is. Is there any space in those positions in those teams? I doubt it. So I think it will be very difficult, not impossible, but very difficult to sell him. And another thing we have to consider, although we're not in the in the business of just having bodies, whether they're useful or not, we will need to have someone take up that space. Whether his going would be an opportunity for for a youngster, I don't know. I think we're stuck with him this season. Unfortunately, it's just one of those problems that we've acquired for ourselves. And the thing is, I think Pochettino has hope in him. You know, people say he likes him. I just think he has hope in him because of his seniority. But honestly, his performance yesterday was dreadful, to be honest, in a team that's doing so well and a player of his magnitude. It was shocking, shocking. You know, he's there to pick up the youngsters. Instead, they're picking him up, which it's not acceptable. You know, I can understand Thiago Silva. I think we are beginning to see that downward spiral. I mean, he's going to be what, 39?
Yes.
You know, he's you could see the slowness. Now, one could say, okay, maybe he was tired, a lot of training, but even then, you know, compared to young Bashir Humphreys, Levi Colwill, Chalobah, you could really see that vitality wasn't quite there. He was playing with his brain more than his body, which is good. You know, I don't expect more than this one season out of him. I don't expect game in, game out from him. but and his brain is savvy enough to position him enough to prevent things. But I ask myself, especially the goal by what's his name? Brighton's first goal. The guy that used to play for Arsenal. Gosh, what's his name?
Welbeck.
Sorry,
Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck.
Danny Welbeck.
Yeah,
Roger,
I
did
mean,
you just do a tapping on me? I just
for
They all
Welbeck to
count,
have that
coach. They all
space,
count. I'm on side, baby.
for Welbeck
no,
to
you
have
were
that
on
space
side.
in
Go
the box,
ahead, Bobby.
for Welbeck to have that space in the box, who's picking up that space? I have a feeling it was possibly Thiago, because it was on the right, and maybe a little bit of Santos. But it was a well-worked goal, so we can't complain too much. But you shouldn't leave a striker with so much space in the box. And it's left to be seen. But I doubt, had it been a pairing of Chalobah and Colwell, that goal would have happened. But
Can I ask something, gentlemen? Sorry, Bobby. I want to ask your opinion and everyone else's, if I may, Coach. Who do you think
Just
is good?
quickly.
Who do you think is going to
Constantine Dante. Always nice to see you, brother. Welcome. Go ahead, Roger.
Hello. Who do you think is going to be the predominant pairing of centre backs this season? Injuries aside.
It's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, will be I would go for Colwell and Chalobah. From what I've
Yeah.
seen so far in pre-season, which is only 2 games,
Yeah.
but they seem the most industrious that we can choose. However, we have to remember that Badia Shield's coming back. I think there will be a place for Bashir Humphreys. I like him. I think he's a very good
agree too.
defender. And we don't need to look for anybody else. I think Thiago Silva's opportunities will be sparing. And let's be realistic. Forget about what's his name? Wesley. He's got to get recovered, and then he's got to get match fit. I think the season's gone for him already.
Season's gone already.
Even Brozier in front. All these people talking about Brozier. Forget about Brozier. It's a long, long journey back. Even now,
Bobby, you know what? I will tell you more. I will add a little bit. You're spot on. I think we are like yesterday's game. We were playing at back 3, and I don't mean back 5. It was literally 3. I mean, the other was in front. So it was not like 3-4-3 or something like that. It was just Chilwell had to stay up. In those scenarios, and if there is a threat of counter-attack, quick counter-attack, then we are a little bit exposed. Although Thiago was positioning was spot on, but he's not very fast. And you put more pressure on Gusto. He has to cover for that as well. He has to cover for Mitoma. There are too many things to do. So, but when we had a brief period when we had with the same system, Chalobah and Colville, we were a little bit more assured in that sense. We were assured in also with Thiago, but there is this element. Thiago pass is slower. So I agree totally. I mean, we will see more of, unless until the moment when more people come from back from injuries. Okay, I mean, Fofana is not coming back very soon, but Badiashile is coming. Until that moment, I think it will be more of Colville and Chalobah, or Colville and Thiago.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a player coming to the end of his career at the very, very top, especially Premier League career, there's always that moment where you notice their loss of pace. I've seen it with Shevchenko. I've seen it with Ivanovic. We've recently seen it with Azpilicueta, and we are beginning to see it with Thiago. You can see the signs.
Yeah, because
Even
yes,
e-
you could see we were
yeah,
exposed through the Gusto side because he had too much on his plate to cover, you know, and
yeah. I
then
mean, you're talking about
Santos had to be perfect in his positioning, which Santos lacks a little bit of experience. So
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
evident.
Gentlemen, what do you think?
But
What do you think about having
I
two
think
left footers?
Bobby's still he's still talking.
but
He's still making that point he was on. So
Sorry.
let's let him.
thanks.
No worries. Let's just let him drop.
I just want to say quickly, but yeah, you're right that Sterling didn't help. I think if we had had someone like Madueke, he would have tracked back a bit better, like as he does. Sterling was dreadful. He was just strolling about with his big ass all over the place. And I think also that not only from a defensive recovery point of view did the slowness of Thiago start to show, but he was doing it last season. Whenever the ball needed to be played out quickly, he was very slow. This slow,
Deliberate.
ponderous passing out. And there was a time that Colwill gesticulated. His frustration. Just pass the ball, sort of thing. But he's measured. He's too measured, and there's no room for that in the Premier
Bobby,
League.
a question, just a question to you. Did you see that moment when Chalobah overlapped with Angelo? You will not see that with Thiago there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what do you think about having two left footers? Because, quite often you see two right-footed centre backs, but we could have Badiashile and Colwell.
It doesn't matter. It does. People are making so much out of this because left-footed players are rare.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I think it's an advantage. We've been banging on and on. Oh, we've got three left backs. So what? They can all play in midfield apart from Chilwell. We've got four left footers actually, if you include Chilwell, and that just adds to our riches. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm not worried about Badiashile and Colwill playing in the centre back positions.
I think that's a
at all.
tasty partnership,
I think
potentially.
So too. I think so. Sometimes fans can become robotic. They look at players and it's always it's always round pegs in round holes.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes with modern day coaching, you can already see what Pochettino's doing. He kind of played Maatsen as a paired midfielder. More than a left winger because he inverts his wingers a lot. And so Maatsen was supporting Chukwuemeka a lot in the midfield. Chukwuemeka is good. You can see he's developing. I like his physicality. I like his technicality. However, his vision needs to improve a bit. There are times where he could play the ball outwards to the wings. There was an opportunity at one time. I was thinking, oh gosh, playing Mudryk, and he didn't. He kept cutting in. But I think he'll learn. That's game experience that will bring that out.
Does he stay this season?
I think so.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of young players in that team, whether we like it or not. Even with the purchases. I mean, people are looking at Caicedo as if he's some old seasoned pro. He's a kid as well. And Caicedo is having a certain level of development himself. So we're going to be that team. We're talking about Kudus and things. Kudus is another kid as well. So as experienced as a lot of these kids are,
Bobby,
there are things they're learning. Look at Enzo. Upon all his World Cup, I've watched his game and I think Enzo needs to learn a few things here and there. And somebody pointed out one thing. I've noticed he's not particularly blessed with pace.
No.
And so he needs to improve upon his positioning.
Here's a question. Can I ask also a question from every one of you?
Jesse, can you just give me a second? Let me give this guy's audience a bit. Just one minute or two, please. No point in selling or stalling, in my opinion. He states has experience which is needed in this team at the moment. Not saying we cannot sell him this season, but the possibility of signing him I don't think that's there. And let's see, Sterling isn't going anywhere. Yep, that's quite clear. Big 10. Let's see what else we have here. Glenn 10. Constantine saying hello to you. Rado can no longer pass or save penalties. Who am I? Just go away. Them, coach, what a setup you have there. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Colwell shouldn't have made that tackle. There was no need for that, as Kukurea was covering. That's what we're arguing. May have been because he was mentally tired or so. Just look, we don't need to dwell on that. Peace and blessings. What a game that was yesterday. It was thrilling, and I liked it. Sell Kepa before selling Sterling. We're not here to talk about who's to be sold or not. It's up to the club to decide. But you are entitled to your opinion, of course. It would be a lot of the wage bill. Yeah, I agree. But the question is, who's going to take him? Free up space for Mbappe. Yeah, good luck. Keep trying. Captain Colwell didn't have a good game at all. You think? Okay. Sterling won't cost us trophies. Kepa well, and actually has 2 cups and counting. Okay. We do need a competent keeper between the sticks. Okay. Kepa has been horrendous for 4 years, and you want him. Sterling 1 year, and you want to sell him. There's something really wrong here. Thank you for not saying there's something really wrong with this fan base. Sterling at least looked like he got some legs back to me. Fastest I've seen him run in a while, but still the rest are lacking. You could argue probably mentally tired too. He made some poor decisions, which you could argue maybe the gruesome, you could say, double sessions under Mauricio Pochettino has gotten to him. But let's see what happens. Pedro simply beat Koala on that penalty play. It happens. Should have trusted his keeper. Young players. I'm coming, Bobby. Just 1 second. Young players make mistakes and all that. Let's see. A great question. Let's see what else. The narrative here are ridiculous. Silva is slowing down because he conceded a goal in his first 45 minutes of preseason. So reactionary. Okay, we can't. We're not in the habit of retaining bodies, but we are retaining. I'm not reading that. Let's go away. Bobby, what were you saying? You remember? JC wanted to ask a question, but go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, just really quickly. But I've been slightly sidetracked. We're not knocking Silva. We're just making an objective observation, which is inevitable. He is coming to the end of a fantastic career, and what a wonderful servant he's been. But he's slowing up, and that's just the reality. But what I wanted to actually say was this, is in and around Kepa. I mean, I get concerned when I see a coach that doesn't recognize the physicality that's needed for the Premier League, and indeed any league, especially as a goalkeeper. You look at the Brighton keepers. You see them between the sticks and you're coming towards that goal and you're thinking, this guy has a chance. And then you look at Kepa and, people are coming towards him and you're concerned. He looks puny. He looks too physically unable between the sticks. And that's not his fault. That's his build. That's how he was made. But that is a requirement. I don't
But
understand.
Bobby, to your point, Bobby, you had players like Peter Shilton, etc., that were not exactly huge, but they would dominate their box.
Yes,
absolutely dominate it.
But one thing I always use the example of Neville Southall. I remember I've seen him in the flesh, but you see, these players were built. They were stocky. They were strong. You could see it. Peter Shilton was no slouch, and I think he actually had a bit of a wingspan on him.
Let's get out of this negative.
Fadiho hasn't spoken for a while. Please, he has been here for like 10 years.
I wanted to ask a very quick question. We need to get out of this negativity, as Posh put it correctly. These are small things in a preseason which happen during the experimentation. So let's not make doom and gloom out of a fantastic performance. I would rather be discussing, did we have a goal of the season before even the season started? That discussion would be much better to have than dwelling 1,000 times on something which is not that huge right now.
Well, JC, you know what? Listen, I'm a big fan of Kepa. I rate him, but Bobby's got a valid point because
Let
Yeah,
me
but
just say this quickly. Bafodiho, if you're there,
if we
because
get
if I'm
into
waiting for
Kepa,
everybody to speak before you
if we
come in,
get
you're
into
not going to
Kepa
speak. You can
discussion,
always come
I'll
in if
tell
you have
you,
anything
if
to
I
say.
start, I will
Sure.
destroy every argument everybody's having here. But this will be long. So let's give word to our other panelist who has not spoken yet.
Well, what I can say is, keeper, for instance, people have criticized him for not being able to like sometimes come up with certain decisions, and it always costs Chelsea. We all know that he is a good goalie, and there are a little bit of deficiencies that he lacks, and it's rather unfortunate. He wasn't born a tall person, and sometimes when there are some long range shots, like he finds it so difficult to like cooperate with it. And as we all know, Chelsea is a big club, and if you keep on making certain mistakes, the fans are going to come for you, and it will be very horrible. At least if we need another goalie, that wouldn't be bad. But we also have slow nine. What's the name? The US
Molina.
slow.
Slovenia, yeah.
Yeah. So
Don't know why he's
I
on the
guess
bench all the time.
yeah, I guess we can also bring him for a little bit of competition, and also if we can have a low key goalie somewhere, somebody who is well built, someone who has a future, I think it can help because going into this season, I don't think a lot of fans will be pleased with him if he continues to make certain mistakes that will cause the team because there are certain games, especially against Aston Villa. I remember very well there were certain goals he conceded, and as a high
Can you
profile
please
goalie
name the mistake, the last mistake he made? Can you please remind us?
with the Aston Villa.
When was the last mistake he made and which one was that?
You're talking about keeper?
Kepa, yes.
Yeah, he hasn't made any mistake, but I'm talking about during the league
Let's
games.
get off his back.
Yeah.
He's on
We
your
can let
side,
me not
JC.
lie.
Are you even listening to the guy? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, but I'm just trying
So
to put an argument.
everybody will
Go ahead,
testify
Bafodiho.
everybody will testify to the fact that I always support Chelsea players, and what I'm trying to say is there are certain things you need to do, like there are standards, and we all know that keeper is somebody who is very good, but when it comes to certain aspects of his game, he lacks a little bit. But he needs someone who will give him a competition. I'm not saying we should get rid of keeper. I will never do that. But if keeper should see a next goalie next to him and that person is doing well, I guess he will do everything possible to amend his game. What I'm trying to say is keeper has caused us some games with long range shots, and it happened against even Aston Villa. And going into a new season, if he can do something about it, that would be perfect. I would like him to stay here, but it can never continue to go on like that. And also, let me talk about Sterling. As it stands now, I don't know where Sterling can go within Europe. And his wages are very high, and no team would like to take Sterling at the moment. If we can try with Saudis, that would be perfect. But as to whether Sterling want to go to Saudi Arabia at this moment of time, it's another thing. But the best decision we can do is to keep him since he has the experience. Even if he's not going to be in the first 11, he could still stay around. And the coach will communicate very well with him. I know Poch is a very good manager, and he will explain things to him. He shouldn't try to put up some attitude that will affect the whole team or bring instability in the dressing room,
I
because
agree.
the way he's playing, he has to like be a prolific attacker. He can just do all the runs. That's what I was saying. Like he was so perfect with some of the runs, but when he gets into the box, that is when the problem is. I remember there was a time this Brighton defender was pulling Sterling down. He was trying to like move. He's good at that. But if he can just make amends with the way he can shoot the ball, the way he can score, it will help him. And I don't think he's bad at all. He can do it, but just that for some reason, when he gets to the box, he's so indecisive, and it has cost him a lot. Yesterday, a lot of people were so disappointed because there were a lot of instances where he could have like buried the game, and he was just messing it around. So I believe he can still stay around and infuse some of his experience to the younger ones, and also work on where he thinks he lacks a lot. And with the defense issue, I think we have three young defenders. Humphrey against Wrexham. I was telling a friend that where was this boy last season and he couldn't even feature for the senior team. He's very confident, he's well built, and his passes are very good. So since Thiago is still here, I don't think Thiago will be here in the next 2 years. All we have is these three players: Cowell, Badeshio, Chalobah, and Humphrey. At least they are four. Let's concentrate on them. Let's build them so that they will be very ready for the future. Because when Thiago Silva leaves in the near future and we are not well prepared for the instances, it's going to cost us a lot because he is somebody who is our backbone now. So the moment he leaves, if these boys are unable to learn something from him and also well tuned, it will cost Chelsea a lot. That's why this season is very crucial. All these young guys should be featured a lot. They have to experience some of these games. Let them play. Let them be together. And I guess if Thiago one day is no more, there is not going to be any problem because he has like learned, teach them how to be independent within the box. Because there are certain attacks that Brighton was making, and I guess the defenders could have done it differently if they were well experienced, like Cowell's situation. When you are in the box and you
And just
have,
quickly, I was just checking. I just found out somebody banned Eugene, and I don't know why. But go ahead.
yeah, when you are close to a defender in the box, you have to be very cautious because some of these defenders, the moment you tag them, they are going to go on the ground. So even I was expecting him to use his body a little bit than to go on the floor and just whack the guy. If he could have used his box, if you look at Malo Gusto, Mitoma was at a point of time giving him a whole lot of time, and he knew Mitoma was very quick. So the moment this guy is moving, you will see Malo Gusto moving with him, using his body to block him. That's what Cowell should have done when the guy was in the box. He should have used his body to block him a little bit, and Kurela was just in front of him, so there was no need for him to go on the ground. So I think, in all, we have a very bright future. The boys are still learning, and I
All
guess
right.
they are going to come out good in the near future.
All right, let me catch up with the chat. We'll hear what Roger wanted to say, then we can call it a day. I really do need to go to church today. Coach, our defense do not trust Kepa. They will overplay, overcommit, and inevitably make mistakes because of who's behind them. The great Silva Medehaula, he just does not trust the guy. Okay. None of these are players I can say Poch didn't give them a chance. He literally made a mistake in less than 12 hours, bro. Okay. Let's see. If your panelists want a keeper that isn't puny, okay, like Kepa, don't worry. We got Brockstrom. I don't know who that is. He's a big boy. Honestly, I don't know him. Beautiful. Okay, this is having a conversation there. Let's see what else we have here. I'm not going to read your conversation. Starling only useful role will be a false nine. He cannot be a winger anymore. I think we have better wingers. I think maybe we should give him a try in that first nine role. Kepa is fine. His ball playing, passing is very good for a keeper, which Poch wants. Okay. Starling has no clue how to finish, and his ball control is very poor. There was a time he made a very important run down the flank. He shrugged off the guy behind him that was trying to pull him down, and then got into the box and then made the decision that a 16-year-old would make. He didn't even try to look up to try his fellow forward who was waiting for him to square the ball to him. Chalobah is in the same conversation with Badiashile and Cowell. Yeah, I think I can say yes. He's a fine defender overall. Stalin himself made it clear. I'm impressed that the experience he gives is mainly based on performance to lead by example, but he hasn't led by example. If he doesn't perform, then he's pointless. He must step up. I agree with you. What else do we have here? And this is says Barkley Town one. Not okay. Thank you for that update. We appreciate that. Which experience to the younger ones when he himself could not decide what to do with the ball. 23-4. I agree with you. Let's see what else we have here. Is this for somebody? Respectfully, we are keeping Kepa because of his wages. I've always thought that, even though I think that's a good goalkeeper in him. No one else wants him. This is not a good enough reason to hold on to a keeper of this standard. Sorry. But let's see what they do. Goalkeeper position weak, centre back weak, midfield weak. If we think Poch would do miracles, then we are in for a hard season. Here's what I think about you, Chelsea, all the way. You're everywhere. One moment you're happy, next one you're complaining, but you have every right to, bro. That's why we're here. At least we won. Yeah, I agree with you. I had my doubts. Was expecting a draw or a loss. Coach, are you able to unlock Eugene? Yeah, I've unlocked him. I'm not sure who blocked him. I just was suspicious of him. We haven't seen him in a while. I get it. Sometimes he can be careless with his words, but I don't remember him doing anything that warrants him being blocked. At one time, I was the one that blocked him myself due to what he said, but I unblocked him and he's behaved ever since. But somebody, blocked him. I do not know what he did. But that's by the way, Roger. Your thoughts? You wanted to say something, so we can round off with that one. Sorry, guys, I really do have to go to church today. Go ahead, Roger.
Sure, thanks, Coach. It's to do with one of the panelists was mentioning about Kepa, and I've stated this before multiple times. Kepa isn't so much short. He's got, shall we say, a shorter wingspan.
Yeah, just quickly, Roger. Just quickly. He's not on Twitter. He's not on Twitter. If he is, I don't know. Go ahead, Roger. I apologize. Because I know you're my friend and brother. That's why I had to do it. I know you're okay with that, but go ahead, Roger.
Yeah.
Apologies for cutting
and so he's been beaten, but for long range shots, true. But you have to understand that there was very little, shall we say, blocking. There was a very little attempt to how shall I put this, run down a player to go in advance and stop the shot from long distance. It was very seldomly done last season. And my point in case would be the semi-final of the Champions League between, what was it, City and Real Madrid. You had Courtois, probably the best goalkeeper in the world the last 12 months. And what was it? Is it Alisson, I believe? That both got beaten from outside of the boxes. Two large, tall, long wingspan keepers. The ball moves, gentlemen. It's not like 1970s, in the 80s where the ball didn't have as much movement. You can be a great keeper and you're going to get beaten from long range. His wingspan, yes, it's not an advantage to him in that regard, but this is possible. And you saw two of the best goalkeepers in the world beaten long range. This happens. You can't blame it on the fact that he's not big enough. If you don't, run down the shot maker, then guess what? It's likely to be beaten by a worldie. Any keeper can be. What I do criticize Kepa for is his lack of physicality, aerially speaking. He's the only one that is allowed to handle the ball within that 18-yard box, and he doesn't go up with authority. He can elevate himself and use his knee for defense. You're allowed to do that. I speak from experience. You don't have to be a large chap. You look at De Gea, with the exception of his first season as Man United, he would dominate his box aerially for a very slight goalkeeper. So this is coachable. This is something that can be corrected, So, but that is my number one criticism of Kepa is his lack of aerial domination, where he can dominate, but he chooses not to. And maybe that's the coaching style, the way in which he was brought up as a youth player in Spain. I'm not sure. But this is the only credible criticism you can give Kepa, because last season, until the Man United game, you know, where we actually we put out the youngest team ever in Chelsea's history in the Premier League. We were ranked 4th in the Premier League defensively. So if he's that bad, then how come we ended up with so many injuries and yet he ended up conceded the 4th least amount of goals? So that should tell you something. If we had a good defense, it would be better. So I think he, based on what he performed last year, I think he's good enough for Chelsea. I really do. He's a fine goalkeeper. Could he improve? Yes. You know, if he regresses and reverts back to the first year he was here, then I'd say yes, we have issues. But based on last season, I think he's a very fine goalkeeper indeed. Same with Mendy also. Unfortunately, we know what happened to him, alas. But that's what I have to say, Coach.
All right, thank you so much. Again, apologies, guys. We had to end this as soon as possible. I have to go to church, and let's see what else we have here. I will try. Big up to you too. Sunday service. Yeah, I have to. I want the best. That's all. If not, why compete? Yeah, I think I agree with you all. Here's the thing. The one thing I like about the Blue Morning Show, and I've gotten used to it. You can be in the chat there, and sometimes go to the extent of slandering me, and I'll still let you stay there because your opinion matters. As long as you're not being abusive, you're welcome here. Our opinions differ. If we all agree, we don't have a show. It's as simple as that. So we're here to learn from each other, if that makes sense. Ederson versus Inter Milan in the 90th minute is where he made his money. Won them their UEFA Champions League and achieved world-class status. Like I said, Inter would have beaten us in that scenario. Okay, Kepa has a poor technique. Even 7 shots. He uses the arm with less reach to stretch out to the top corner, and even if he reaches the ball with his hand, it doesn't have any strength in it. Wow, some argument. Okay, bye. Thanks. Nice to see you again, brother. See you soon. Okay, it's talking to somebody that said bye. I think it was Mitchell Boy who said bye. When I was in high school, our starting keeper was 5'9". He had no issues of 7 shots because his technique was amazing. Okay, let's see what else we have here. With that, we've come to the end of the show. I don't know if anybody else on the panel want to say anything. Bobby, you have any final thoughts you want to say so we can call it a day? How about you, Jesse? You have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, very quickly. I will very quickly add to what Roger already said. It's in fact not the last season. Last 2 seasons, he has been fantastic. One mistake you could say is almost in that Lampard season that you could see when the shot is coming, Kepa's elbows and arms were folding to prepare for the jump. He was always a little bit slow, but that hasn't happened for 2 years. He has improved in that. And it's not easy to stop the shots. Not everybody stops. He is a decent goalkeeper. I mean, we really and let's not forget, 2 years ago he took us to the cup runs with not the best defense because other players, young players, were being played, but he still managed to get us to the finals. The same season where Mendy was the main goalkeeper, and last season he displaced Mendy as the top keeper. He has improved. We have to give support to our squad. We cannot be destroying the confidence of our own team players. As long as they are with us, we have to support them.
And was merited with save of the season also.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, please. But Fadiho, you want to say anything? Just 1 minute, please. Let's call it a day. I have to go to church.
What I would say is the Chelsea owners should dig into the Cofex and try and bring Caicedo latest by Wednesday, because if he comes in early enough, it will be very good for the preseason and also the upcoming season. So that's what I would like to say.
All right, thank you. How about you, Bobby? You there, or should I just call it a day? All right, I'm going to say thank you to all of you that found time to join the panel. I appreciate you, Roger, so much. Fadiho, thank you, JC, thank you, Bobby, thank you. IBZ was here but didn't get to talk. Probably was at work. And yeah, thank you to Ty, who was also here, and thank you to the Beautiful Game. Much love to you, Supreme Quarter, Mark H, Constantine Dante, everyone that's in the chat. Brianni Yahayu, aka 343 Dilema, and every other nickname you've used before. But I want to say thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all. And if I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Cheers.